Uh-oh, what's going on? I don't hear that. I don't hear that. Sorry,
Are we
guys.
live yet?
Yeah, we're live, but I don't hear anything
Oh, okay.
here. What the hell's going on? Sorry, guys. We're supposed to be hearing something, but apparently we're not hearing anything. And I don't know why. Everything's on where it's supposed to be. So I get. Oh, maybe that's up there. I don't know.
Of Independence.
Oh,
There we
that's
go. I
why.
hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the birth certificate stuff.
No. Yeah. This is so. Here we go, guys.
Okay.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
What?
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee, Grant, Abe Lincoln. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, and Pearl Harbor. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields, and on the rock of Corregidor, on the bleak slopes of Korea, and in the steaming jungles of Vietnam. I am the Brooklyn Bridge, the wheatlands of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I am the coal fields of the Virginias and Pennsylvania, the fertile lands of the West, the Golden Gate and Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the Monitor. I am the Merriman.
Oh, it needs to go on. So
yes, so we're gonna. Hey, don't.
Oh, nothing special about being American.
That just pisses me off. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm still hearing it. That just pisses me right the hell off. But anyway, we're gonna play it for a while. We're gonna probably tune it up a little bit.
I like that. I want the whole thing. We got to figure out where that comes from.
So we'll probably do some editing and put retake that clip off the front and then just play the whole song. Well, it's gonna probably be the intro for this. I mean, come on. What do you mean with the American? God, every time I hear that, I want to just stick my foot up his ass. Excuse my language, people, but come on. He might not know what it means American actually letting spy balloons float across our country.
Do you think that's the real Joe Biden? Do you think that's the real Joe Biden?
I have no idea what he is. You know, I hear conspiracy theories, I see things, but every now and then, like the other day, see, it must be honest with you, I think it's his makeup, people. So the other day, I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, dude, how can you look like you're about to just croak? I mean, he's sitting there like, and he's all pale white and stuff. And then the next day I seen him, he's got color in his face. So some people think he's getting a shot, which he might be. But so those I can understand. That's probably either somebody shooting him up or giving him some or doing some makeup on him. Those are probably legit. But every now and then I see one, like the ears are different or the eye set is different.
He definitely has obviously he's got a double.
I was going to say obviously,
yeah.
But that actually isn't that big of a thing for a president. I mean, let's be honest. He's president, and half the world is thinking, we blow him up, we can take over. Joe, dude, look, sit down. Actually, I want you to run. I want you to run this time because I think Kennedy's more dangerous than you are. So,
I love freaking Kennedy.
Look at this conservative already.
Listen, it is not. I'm not a Republican. I'm independent, and I will tell you this: the Republican Party with Trump. I voted Republicans because of Trump, but I had a great awakening in 2020. And I was a hardcore Republican, but both sides are just as toxic. I cannot stand Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't stand Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's an embarrassment.
She is an embarrassment. Look, unfortunately, I can't argue with that. I would like to argue with that, but she is seriously an embarrassment to our country. And
I have freaking RFK Jr. book, The Real Anthony Fauci here. I freaking love him. He's not going to get the Democrat nomination. And I don't know how this works with stuff, but I think it would be amazing if Trump and then RFK Jr. as vice president. But I don't know if that can happen. I don't know what the rules and guidelines are by that. But if Trump doesn't get in there, at all whatsoever. I'm not voting for DeSantis. I'm voting for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'm not voting DeSantis. I've gone down that rabbit hole. He's a snake. I've followed the money with him. I am not doing it.
Well, I don't, frankly, I don't even know anything about any of them. Kennedy's family's they're just like the Bidens and the Trumps. They got so much shit in their family, so much stuff in their background, so much just bad breath. We need something. We need someone who doesn't have baggage. Trump? No, Trump's got baggage.
What's baggage?
Don't maybe you heard what I played, the song I played last week for Trump. Don't make me play it again.
No, I came in at midnight. I tossed and turned forever. But Trump doesn't really have that much baggage when it comes to politics. He was never a politician. Everybody loved Trump before he said he was running for president.
But that's the thing. It doesn't matter where the baggage is. He has baggage.
And he's not. His children are not Hunter Biden.
Well, I like his kids. I have nothing against his kids, but it's gonna be hard on Trump. So
I mean, he's a businessman, and
I seen the new polls. Technically, Trump is kicking DeSantis' ass.
Oh, he's kicking his ass.
But that's not true. It's only true if they don't run against Joe Biden. If they run against Joe Biden, DeSantis is kicking Trump's ass.
No, so that's just propaganda.
No, it's not, because Democrats voted for him in Florida, and Democrats will vote for him.
I'll tell you this, and this is why this is a red flag for all these Republican people out here. If you want to stick with Republican, you got to follow the money. The same people that donate to Obama have donated to DeSantis. The same groups, the same amount of money, all of it is DeSantis. He's a snake. No shit. And DeSantis, if he would be smart to just keep and do his best to keep Florida red, in my opinion. I'm not a politician, but I'll
so the numbers show that without DeSantis, Trump will not be president of the United States. So
what do you mean?
So this is what really should happen. For all my Republican friends out there, this is what really should happen. So Trump should run, DeSantis should run. So right around 2/3 of the way through, DeSantis should just hand his points over to Trump, give him the automatic lead, and change for being vice president.
Trump already has the lead. He can't
but he can't beat Biden. That's the problem. He can't beat Biden. He's not going to beat Biden. It doesn't matter how many people hate Biden. He's not going to beat him.
So you don't think any corruption happened?
It doesn't matter if corruption happened. It's going to happen again.
That's why Trump needs to say mail-in votes. I'm a proponent of mail-in voting. Everybody if we can't beat them fairly, let's beat them at their own game.
You still got to get them to vote. You still got to get people to vote.
I had 4 mail-in votes. I had 4 of them just in Kentucky, and I didn't do that. I went and showed up in person. Believe me, anything that's sent to my house, I'm going to fill it out and send it back in. I don't care if I have to put Jesus Christ himself on it. I will. And I'll send it in for Trump. He's just
voting for the DeSantis, baby. He already said he's voting for DeSantis.
No.
He was down there campaigning for DeSantis, man. He's like, I'm voting for DeSantis. He's the man.
What does DeSantis mean? What does DeSantis mean? Let's look this up. I like to look at names.
I'd have to look at it. He's probably some Satan.
I'm looking it up.
But, he's going to get on the stage first off. He's got all this stuff to brag about Florida. His wife, he's got his wife who's got cancer. He's just got a lot of stuff going for him as a king.
Yeah, but she's a valley girl. She's a valley girl.
It don't matter.
His wife.
The woman's part of his life.
The valley girl.
Wait, you're breaking up. Stop. Who's probing who? Uh-oh, something got her. Something got you, girl. You just stopped for you stopped for like 5 seconds. It was weird.
Oh, really?
See, I told you, Jesus don't like you saying he's not voting for DeSantis. That's what happened. He said he's voting for DeSantis. You pause right now. He's saying, yes, I'm voting for DeSantis.
Right now. Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky, everybody. There's a thunderstorm. I've had bad connection for the last week because high winds. I'm going to see what his name means.
Look it up and see.
Can you hear me now?
I got you. Somebody looked at it. Bad? No, I got you. I can hear you now. It's somebody had looked it up before. I forgot who it was. And Yeah, somebody want to send me a ponytail? I don't know what to do with mine.
Oh, here we go. DeSantis
oh
means
my God, here we
Sanctus.
Go.
DeSantis means
See, he's a saint. See, he's a saint. Look at this shit. Oh man, he's got it made. He's unbeatable. Saint
he's
DeSantis.
Holy and devout.
Man.
He's holy and devout.
You can't beat this guy. It's over with now.
Holy one, uplifted one. Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. You
see, God is on his side, girl.
We love how Satan comes in like an angel of light to manipulate the masses. He is. But he's not.
He would. I'm telling you, he would settle for VP this turn. He really would.
He needs to.
But if they don't make an enemy out of him, if Trump don't make an enemy out of him, he could use DeSantis, pop himself all the way up, get in there, and because now the country's thinking, look, yeah, Trump's going to be rough for 4 years. He got a big mouth, but he does a good job. But now we got DeSantis. DeSantis like the backup quarterback, getting the rest of his training, and then we'll have him for 8 years. We could if we did it right, we could have the House, the Senate, and the presidency for 12. We could get our country back and change it.
Well,
we could change it.
Here's something.
Last time that happened was Reagan.
The ideal. Under me, I'm not right, people, but this is what my thoughts are: is Trump and DeSantis. I will say that I'm not going to vote for DeSantis if he's going to divide MAGA, because that's what the left wants to happen.
That's what they want to happen. They want him to run, but only one of them can win anyway.
Stupid. It would be stupid for him to do it, because if he does it, it's going to divide MAGA, and the Democrats are going to win anyway. So if he sits back, if Trump and him can work out stuff, men are different than women, so. If they can work stuff out, Trump, DeSantis, then DeSantis and Jim Jordan.
I like Jim Jordan. I could go Jim Jordan. I could go Kennedy, and Kennedy out of Louisiana. I could go either one of them.
Oh, John Kennedy.
Yeah, I like him. He's really good. And Nikki's
I thought he should have been Speaker of the House.
He should have been, but Nikki's changing her ways, so she might even be here in the future. Who sent me what? Nikki Haley. She's running. She's not going to
run. I don't know who Nikki Haley is.
She was an ambassador until recently.
But I like the idea of Robert Kennedy. I like him. He's the Democrat Party changed after JFK. It's not this. My whole family, my grandparents, everything was Democrat. I was raised up as Democrat.
So was I.
It's not the same party from that time. JFK changed it all. And it's not a conspiracy theory. It's all out there. Operation Northwoods. I talked about that a little bit tonight when I went live on my Instagram after my show. It's all out there. He exposed a lot of the stuff, and he was trying to get out of a lot of the programming and stuff that was happening then. And he identified the collusion between the U.S. government, the FBI, and the CIA when it comes to Cuba. And he said that one of the last things he said before he was assassinated was that he was going to splinter the CIA as many times as the wind blows, like 50 million times. So
I heard he was going to put Dave Emos in charge.
Well, Dave, I see Dave right there. Does he have a cowboy hat? He has his mafia hat on tonight. Dave, I'm going to say Dave Emmons is a mafia member.
He wears mine. You're lucky I don't have mine here.
Hold on, can I bring him on?
Yeah, drag him in. You can drag him in. I was just messing with him. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Hey, this is a newsboy cap. And this mark on my nose is not from my wife. She's in the Philippines.
You sure now? Oh, okay.
There's a skin doctor did that. He said that.
Oh, yeah, I got one of them too. Don't feel bad.
That's what they all
sun mark.
That's what they all say when they're in the mafia. The skin mark. He's in the mafia. You look like you're in the mafia, Dave.
I was in the mafia for 1 year in Vietnam. Okay.
Well, my dad was in the mafia too.
I had automatic.
I can't. If I talk about it, they'll kill both of y'all. So we're just not going to talk about this.
Because Joe's CIA.
There you go.
There's mafia CIA. Now you happy now? Now y'all know. Go take care of both of these people now. Whoever else is listening tonight, you just got like.
Never trust a man that his last name ends with a vowel. Okay, people. So
hey, Emily had a mafia.
Come on.
Emily had a mafia guy on tonight, so she's kind of
so fun. He's coming back, Joe. He loved it.
Why don't you invite what's his name's a hit guy? John.
Larry?
No, his name's John Elite. He was John Gotti's number one.
I don't have him yet, but I got a couple. I got Joe.
He's been on a network. Plus, he does good stuff.
Joey Gallo, Joe Gallo's daughter, Joey. She's coming on What the Frick cool. Live too.
So he came on. He came on, and then he bought. Then they put a show together with 3 of the biggest mafia guys. Retired mafia guys in the country. It's like y'all just trying to get me killed, aren't y'all?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. If I can get a 2-hour special on UPRN 107.7 FM here, because I love the network I'm part of, I'll get them all on at the same time.
Well, look, we do it all the time.
But Church of Mavis, I'm on Friday nights, but I can flex with that if it's a special.
Well, if it's a special, what you might if it's going to be a special, we'll talk to Jeffrey.
And Joe, you're going to be part of this. Dave, if you want to be part of it too, let's just have a round table.
Emily, I want to ask you, how did you get into all this mafia stuff? Do you think the mafia is romantic or something?
She's one of them women that like to be slapped.
I am mafia.
You are mafia.
She's one of them women that like to be slapped around.
God.
Oh yes, Janine, you can slap your wife if you're in the mafia. It's legal to slap your wife every Sunday.
Yeah.
Know about that.
Yes, it is. If you live in Louisiana, it's legal to take a 4-inch belt and whip her every Sunday.
Yeah. But I'm the mafia queen, so I slap them. They don't slap me.
So you'll put a bigger mark on my nose than that's on me now.
That was such a good sound effect, Joe.
Anyway, it's no, I know we got all completely sidetracked here, people. I'm sorry. No, we're not talking about that right now. We will talk about that later.
We should have Mafia Sunday night, Mafia Sundays or something.
Jan, you know what? So maybe I'm going to be going all this week. So next Friday I'll be in LA. We may or may not do a show. Just depends what's going on. Oh no, I won't. That's the gala event. No, I'm sorry. I won't even know where around. Okay. I'll be in the tuxedo, sleeking down the aisles, hanging out with the movie stars.
Can you send us selfies and we can?
Well, we're gonna broadcast the whole thing live. So the first year,
that's awesome.
So the first year they just took the shots and pulled them out of anything. So the station's going to carry it live, and so it should be a lot of fun. It'll be on Roku, people. So if y'all want to watch the gala event, there's quite a few movie stars there. I was reading the list yesterday, and I'm quite impressed with some of them. There's also some other people there that we're not going to talk about, but they're very famous people, or they're people that you should know if you're in certain.
They're in the mafia. That's why we're not talking about
it. But anyway, I mean, it's going to be a great event. You'll get to see me in the tux. That's my 3rd year going out there. Yeah. People, I look good in the tux. So the pictures of me, so last year they got pictures of me in front of the tux in the white limo. We had one of them Hummer limos. Yes, I'm not getting in some tiny. Look how big I am, people. Do you really think I'm getting in a little bit tiny Hummer? If I get the hell out of it, I'm 250
pounds. Is your wife going to escort you, Joe, or are you going to have a Hollywood escort?
No, none of those kind of things anymore. Yes, I'll have an official escort.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's that mean?
Yeah.
Is that Stormy Daniels escort? I don't know. What does that mean? I need answers.
Wait. What's that? Okay, who just messaged the hell out of me? Oh, if I'm single? I'm not going to tell you that because he might hit on me.
Tinder in ladies, he's in Louisiana.
Anyway, y'all are just a bunch of weirdos out there. What? Wait, what's that? Yeah, look, see, you're happy. Look, see there. Okay. Somebody said they wanted to see my left hand.
That's your strong hand.
Look, people, look, you're happy.
Yeah.
God, I mean, look. Anyway, well, no, wait. What do you think? I can flip it around so here's the other one. They see you're happy now.
Well, don't these escorts just hold on to your arm as you walk in, and then they start to tell you what
they like to hold on to the other arm, but still,
Yeah, but that's all they do, and then they leave.
That's exactly what goes on.
What happens?
Jesus. Okay, people. I don't know what's going on in this show tonight.
I started this.
So usually, if y'all see me sitting, I'll usually be. If they put me in the same place, I'll be on the left side of the stage, right for first seat. I mean, first
with his table. Left hand.
Yes, first table, left side. So I got a great view, and I'm usually
near the bathroom, huh?
No, I'm right there at the front, baby. We lead in people in the back, but so I'm there. I'm usually sitting with a couple of judges and what I call the big chief lady. Joni. Joni is a sweetheart. She's the one. If you won, she's the one that's going to call you. She's the one that makes sure all this stuff goes down flawlessly. I got to give her credit. She's a workhorse, and she looks like I never see her stop. She's like whirlwind. So she's
like Emily Goodwin.
No, Emily's fast, but this girl can do it more. I love Emily.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Even Emily will tell you that. Yeah.
I can't even imagine that.
Oh,
she's so good.
I call it a whirlwind. She is she's great. So they usually sit me next to her for dinner, so I don't get in no trouble or anything. And so she's like, she's jetting all over talking to people, and John's being introduced to people. It's a lot of fun. So I'm like, girl, you got to eat, because she's like, just be around, like sit and eat. And Emily comes by. She goes, "How did you get her to sit down?" I told her to sit and eat. she's like, "Wow, she don't listen to anybody." I'm like, "I know," but we know it's a lot of fun. Y'all get to see it. What was that,
Joe? Whose private jet are you flying into?
I can't. If I tell you that, they'll shoot y'all. So we can't.
Oh my God!
That.
Here we go.
Mafia. It's all mafia.
Hey Ron, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's Ron's on.
Actually,
okay, it is a private jet,
true,
right?
That is true. We did go with Bigelow one year. Not to this, but to something else. Yes, you got a nice jet. The only one I can't get, I've gotten almost everybody in science I've ever wanted to talk to, except for Elon Musk. And I think it's because Emily's putting voodoo on him. She's putting the voodoo on him, man. I know what's going on over there. She's putting the voodoo. So, I've talked to him.
He knows that I know. He knows that I know, and that's why.
It's So I like to talk to people in science. I geek out sometimes in science, but I usually do that on Science and Beyond, not on this show. And then I'll do I do politics, like Rachel Maddow was a very interesting interview, and Mayor de Blasio was another very interesting interview. I'm probably going to get, matter of fact, I got a contact. So hopefully while I'm out there this week, I'm trying to get Governor Newsom. One thing about Democrats, I shouldn't say this. I really shouldn't say this on the air, but Democrats are easier to get on in interviews than Republicans
because they're narcissists.
They are, but still, they want to come talk.
But I guarantee we can get Marjorie Taylor Greene though, because they're narcissists.
I don't know. I don't. You know what? I rarely tell anybody they can't bring anybody in the network. I don't know about Marjorie. She's. What do you mean you love Marjorie?
She's a liar.
Who the hell are you? Why do you love Marjorie? Marjorie's nuts. I don't know if she's a liar. She's nuts.
Listen, everybody. I
don't know. She
stands up.
I'm independent.
She stands up.
No, but when she's questioned about her standing up, she denies it. And
she called Mayorkas a liar.
You know what she is?
She stood up.
She is the Republican version of AOC, except she's not as cute as AOC.
That's exactly
AOC is cuter.
Exactly.
AOC has hots for Elon.
Yes, she does.
I'm sure Marjorie Taylor Greene has hots for anybody because she cheats on her husband all the
scary.
time.
Yeah, she's a scary girl. She's scary, but she's one.
She's rich. She's rich.
No, she's not that rich.
What is she? Is she in the House or is she in the Senate?
House.
She's in the House.
Okay, that means every 2 years she can get kicked out. All right, that's cool.
She almost got kicked out this time.
The Senate's rough. I mean, it's every 6 years.
No. She won big time in Georgia.
Did she?
The lady out in Colorado. What's her
the
face?
one with the gun toting. What's her name?
Yeah, she almost lost.
Okay, she's the one.
And I'm telling you this.
Oh, Georgia.
I don't
how Herschel Walker didn't win then? So there must have been some funny
because of the runoff. It was the runoff in Georgia. Georgia as a whole, it's so dysfunctional. Like I can't even.
Yes, it is because when you go to Atlanta, there hasn't been a Republican governor. A mayor. I couldn't tell you how long, but usually the governors are Republicans. No. It's a weird state.
It's Beaufort. Just remember, Joe. It's Beaufort, that one gun toting gal.
Yeah, that's right, Raymond. My sister does live in Atlanta. Well, she lives on the outside of Atlanta, on the suburbs. Well, her husband's got his job, and he does.
Lauren Boebert is who I'm talking about.
That's it.
She was in Sewanee for a while. I don't know where she is now. My sister was in Sewanee, Georgia.
Of course, Lauren.
It's right outside of Atlanta. Yeah, it's a bedroom. It's a bedroom community basically. It was kind of funny.
Ron says weird. AOC's got that booty.
Yeah.
AOC got stuck. AOC might have crabs, man. Come on.
But, hold on, AOC. I will tell you this. I love a good.
She may have some crabs, people.
Yeah.
I love a good takedown. I will say this, and I love a good takedown when it comes from the kindness of your heart. So I'm going to tell you about AOC. AOC claimed that her grandmother was super poor, was a victim, didn't have anything. So the right, the Republicans, decided to do a GoFundMe for AOC's grandmother, raised $250,000, cashed it out. I don't know where the money went after that. I'm not going to ask questions because this is all funny.
Yeah, McCartney's probably got it.
And got the check, made a check to go take it to AOC's grandmother's house. And no, there was no such address.
Well, that doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
There was no such address.
What do you mean you can't see Bob? Oh, wait, you know why you can't see Bob? Because Bob is in the way by the mic. That's why. Maybe we'll put him over here.
Oh, there we go. I see Bob.
I have to say, AOC is not an ugly woman, though. She's really
not.
AOC is attractive.
I'm gonna say Marjorie Taylor Greene is not that ugly either. She works out and stuff.
I don't know. Marjorie's kind of ugly.
I have a problem with women. I don't know. I have a problem with women. Does she
bathe every day?
There's a lot more ugly people in Congress than her. So.
There are a lot more ugly, but they're usually like 100 years old. Let's just be honest about it.
But
$5 says she only bathes once a week.
When a woman can lie to her children or act like life is normal and have an affair, this might be me just being a biased person. I don't think about this about men. I think about this woman because I'm a mother. And if I was having an affair, I would be more upset that I'm lying to my children than my husband. And if somebody can lie to their children, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of her. And it was beforehand. It's just how she carries herself and how you can cut down somebody if you want to in a proper way.
But how old are her children?
They're teenagers. She's younger than me. I'm 42.
Well, that don't mean she might have started young. Some girls are fast. She might have started at 16.
Well, I'm sure she's fast.
She looks like a fasty girl. So,
did she marry into money or did she?
Oh no, she's older than me. I'm sorry, she's older than me. She's 48.
Oh, see, she's ancient.
She ain't ancient. Don't tell me that. I'm 42. And I just made a post. I took a selfie. I don't like taking selfies. I was like, when does women get Botox? Like I'm starting to have some eye issues going on.
Joe, we need to stay away from this woman thing. You know what happened to Lamont?
Oh man, I ain't scared. I ain't scared of those girls, man. I ain't scared of those skanky girls.
I want to say something that's going to blow the minds off women right now. They're probably not going to like me when I say this. I will never vote for a woman for president. Ever.
Oh, you're gonna burn. You're gonna burn in hell. Ladies, I did not say that. I don't know who this woman is saying this stuff. I'm pleading the fifth.
Yeah.
Well, no, vice president is okay. Okay.
We might have one this time.
I hope so.
You know who they're talking? You know who they're talking about?
I love you some Kamala. I bet you Kamala takes a bath once a week too. But
Arizona.
So I pick on women for this all the time, especially these young Z-Genners. What is it with that dirty hair, girls? Look, it takes 5 minutes to get your head into some water, put some shampoo and some conditioner. I mean, come on. So since about 2008, this has been a look, especially with really rich girls. If they're like say 7 or it's like 15 to 28, their hair just looks like it just looks dirty. It's done, but it just looks dirty. Yeah. I'm thinking it looks greasy and funky. I'm like, come on. If a girl like that asked me for a date, I'd be like, you got to be shitting kidding me, right?
Well, they put that smell good stuff in there. They spray it.
Oh no, we don't want none of that.
What do you mean? I don't know.
I had a rule when I was young. I never dated a woman who wore a lot of makeup.
Me?
Ever. I had a really hardcore rule about that.
Why is that?
And because
hold on, time out. I want to know, do I wear a lot of makeup?
I can't tell on damn camera. This camera's saying that. I'd have to get on in and CC, but you're not sure. So it's a weird thing,
What's a lot of makeup?
So I was like, man, I hate telling this, but anyway, I was like 15, somewhere anywhere. So I'd gotten some really, really, really nice silk shirts, really nice, really expensive shirts. So I had gone out on a date with this girl, and we were just kind of nothing bad, people, before anybody starts sending me. Come on, I was like 15. Calm down, people. And so she's just kind of laying on my shoulder. When I got home later, and I noticed when I took off my shirt, like it was caked on my shirt. So that was it for me.
I don't do
and
that.
then I had another rule because I always met someone's mother if I was going to get serious with the woman, because I wanted to know what they were going to look like in the future. So if they had like this mama that was 500 pounds and this wasn't going to happen, it just wasn't going to happen.
Hey, Joe, let me tell you about lipstick.
Yes,
back in the 70s, lipstick tastes awful. I mean, it tastes waxy. But nowadays, it's not that bad. It doesn't taste that bad nowadays.
I'd be like,
I have wore a red lipstick since I was 15.
I'd say, get that shit.
But I don't cake, like my skin, like I do not cake. Like if I hugged you, Joe, right now with your black shirt on, you no makeup would come on
that would be a good thing. It's well, anyway, Denise,
I do wear heavy eye makeup when I'm on stuff like this because I have lights on and everything. So it's like,
red lipstick
not to mean anything mean with you guys. Like you all have bright lights on you guys, both of you. Yeah. And I can't see the definition of your eyebrows, your eyes, or your cheekbones.
I don't have
I'm a female. So when I'm on these shows, or I do my shows myself, I put a lot more on than I normally do when I go out in public. So you can see the definition as a woman. I wouldn't expect that for a man. I just wouldn't. Well, but for a female, I like to see, like, we're more emotional and things. I'd like to see that difference.
When a man that's married, he gets kissed with the red lipstick and it's on his cheek and he forgets it's there and he goes home to his wife, he gets in trouble.
Then he should get in trouble.
Well, what if it's your sister that kissed you on the cheek?
Well, okay. The sister should say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Dave. I got that on your face," and wipe it off.
Well, it should wipe it off. Yeah. But one of you too drunk, and you forget about it.
You shouldn't be driving.
I'm not driving. I was probably visiting my folks.
Was it your sister?
My aunts would do that to me when they kiss me on the forehead.
Well, then your wife should know how your family is.
Okay, that was really weird.
What happened?
I'm lagging like the hell in back. See, my hands waving, but I'm sitting down. I ain't move my hands. Look at this. Right. I don't know what's going on. It's been weird tonight. Tabitha. Where you at, Tabitha? Where are you writing to me on Messenger from, Tabitha? What part of the
my
world?
Friend Jim is
Cali. Well, I will be out in Cali this week, wreaking havoc and causing trouble.
Jim Martin.
And so y'all stop by, and if you can find me, stop by. Oh no, we're gonna be talking. So no, we're gonna wait and talk about the pill after the second half of the show.
Pill?
Yes, we'll talk about that pill in a second.
Joe,
because
can I bring up a topic?
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. Yeah, feel free.
Can I bring up a topic that's really close to me? They're talking about cutting the VA 22%. That's political suicide.
Daddy.
I hear these kind of things, and then I really wonder, okay, what's going on here?
The House won't let that happen.
No, because nobody's going to ever agree on it.
Yeah.
And that's the real problem. What the hell is going on with my camera?
My wife wrote me and says, you think they're going to cut the VA? And I said, well, there's several things that they can't do. It's almost political suicide. Cut Medicare, cut Social Security, and then cut the VA.
They're cutting Medicare.
It's
whatever. Here's something we all need to learn. Out of all of this stuff, what we need to learn, whatever the left is saying, no matter what, I'm sorry, this is the truth. Whatever they're saying that the right's doing, that's projection. Or if whatever they're saying that Russia's doing or China's doing is actually what we're doing as a country. It's projection. It's narcissistic spirit. This is spiritual warfare. It's a Jezebel demonic entity and Leviathan. It goes all through that.
You're right.
So whatever they're saying, believe the opposite. Period. It doesn't mean parties either. Whatever's in that freaking White House.
See, I don't even look at like anything like that. So if you're far left, if you're a MAGA, or if you're a progressive, crazy, nutcase liberal, to me, those are the same things. I'm more interested in the moderates, more closer to the center, because they're more like me. So I'm closer to them.
We're the silent majority.
So we are. So what bothers me is if the if the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans would get together, they would be like 55%. Easy. So they could pretty much do anything they wanted most of the time. And if they needed somebody, they could always pick what side they wanted, depending on whatever bill this might be. If it was anti-abortion or pro-abortion, whatever they thought they needed, they could use the other two sides. And at least it'd be a three-party system, and it would be a more honest system for Americans, because most Americans are not nutcase liberals or nutcase righties. I mean, they're just normal, everyday people.
Well, no, but the third-party system will never.
Yeah, showing nutcases, you mega people. I'm sorry, y'all are. Y'all are smoking ganja. I ain't never smoked.
I'm just gonna say LGBTQ is just a nutcase too. That whole group is nutcases. I almost think that LGBTQ is a cult.
Well, what do you think they're all doing? They're trying to divide us. They're trying to create trouble.
Well, that's the thing.
That's why I'm gonna run back around here with Ron DeSantis. If Ron DeSantis claims that or declares that he is going to run for presidency, we know what side he's on. He's on the Democratic side, which if you follow the money.
DeSantis did vote to cut Medicare. He did vote in Congress to cut Medicare.
But hold
on, Tommy, I want to finish this up. I'm going to say, if Ron DeSantis, mark my words right now, if Ron DeSantis announces that he's going to run for presidency, we know what side he's on. If you follow the money, I already know what side he's on because I follow the money. No, not a lot of people follow the money, but I follow the money. If what will confirm me following the money is Ron DeSantis saying that he's going to run for president, and that's only to divide and conquer MAGA, which the Democrats will end up winning. Even if Ron DeSantis wins, the Democrats wins because I followed the money.
Yeah, I heard
he is a snake. He's a snake. So is Marjorie Taylor Greene. You got to look at these people and what they invest in, what they follow. Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of her investments, she's a Nancy Pelosi in waiting.
I would give him a big hug. He's a nice guy. I would give him a big hug. Now, Disney might give him a big hug, but I'd give him a big hug.
Valley Girl, follow Casey Anthony. How about this? Follow Casey Anthony because she wears the pants in the family. I'll tell you that. Casey does. And follow Casey. Well, his wife, isn't her name Casey? Cassie.
I thought Casey Anthony was that gal you might be interviewing, the one that killed her child.
I did interview. I might be getting that mixed up.
Yeah.
Ron DeSantis' wife. Ron DeSantis' wife is Casey DeSantis.
Casey DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
Okay.
It's DeSantis. I said Casey Anthony. I'm so sorry. Casey DeSantis. It's the same name.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Casey Anthony could run in the Liberal Party maybe and win.
I don't know about all of that.
I'd vote for her because I believe her now.
So we're going to be the American Polling Company always starts running polls.
I believe her dad.
What happened? Did you get shot? No, we actually start running polls. When is this? So in June, we'll start running polls, monthly polls until the election. And what we do is we just put them up there. So now we're a little different than most of the polling companies. We're not going to release the poll at 1,000 or 1,500. It's not going to happen. Bare minimum release is 10,000. We really try to get them up to 100,000 before we release the polls. And that really gives you a better idea of what's really going on in the country. So since we started doing this, we haven't predicted a president wrong yet. It's been a very interesting thing to see how it goes and how it jumps. But we have yet to predict a president wrong. So, or matter of fact, for a lot of politics, it's worked out real well because when you have a large polling section like that and it's everybody. It's not just one party or other because, NBC will do a poll. Oh, we're going to do a poll in Boston. Well, yeah. Okay. What is there? 4 conservatives there? Maybe 5. Or it's like we're going to do a poll somewhere in the deep South, not in one of the big cities because they're all liberal. But you go there and it's all red, like
Dallas. So Joe, your poll actually predicted Biden would win 2 years ago?
Yeah, it predicted Biden would win. It predicted Biden would win 2 years out from the election. Trump, unfortunately, Trump was a really good president in the fact that he really did really hardcore stuff for the country. But again, that's why I play the I-95 song for him. He's an asshole at heart. And America is funny. We like our presidents to have a little class. So don't ask me how we got the last 2 in there. I'm just saying.
I don't like a president with class. I like a president that just tells you how it is, because I'm gonna tell it how it is.
But you know what? You can tell them how it is and still do it with class.
I vote by my wallet.
I'm just gonna tell you this. I cannot believe I'm admitting this. My dad's 76 years old. He's the same age as Trump. Okay. I never thought of a man being sexy at that age. And when Trump went to New York.
Oh my God. She's having fantasies about Trump. Jesus.
Oh God, I saw a video.
Do you have a thing for Trump, Emily?
Am I gonna have to put the $4.99 a minute sign up?
Let me find the video. I'm gonna exit my out for a second. I gotta take care of my dog real quick. I'm gonna find
Joe,
the video.
Did you cut out some of her?
Go ahead. We're gonna while she's doing that, we're gonna set up the $9.99 a minute video thing.
Like
so if
the
y'all want to
alpha lion. He's the alpha lion. Like, I love a man that can take control. And when I saw this video,
hey, Nicole,
I never in a million flipping years ever thought that Trump was hot. And I met him in 2001, but I never thought. And when I saw this video, I think I've watched this video 100 times. Everybody, like,
we don't need to know about them fantasies now, girl.
No. But I will just say this for men in general. There's something sexy. I'll just flat out say something sexy when a man ages and he has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and he's not afraid to that. And all that, and he fights for what's right. It is what it is. I'm going to let my dog out because it stopped raining. He needs to go out. I'm going to find this video. I'm going to come back on here in a second.
What you're saying, Emily, is you find older men sexy?
For the first time, I think. Well, I mean, I've always dated an older guy anyway, but 70s, it's like Trump's the same age as my dad. So for me, I don't think my dad's sexy.
So would you tell me you got a daddy fetish? Oh, that's even worse, man.
Here's my dad in Vietnam. He was screaming eagle. That's my daddy. He was a good-looking man.
We didn't know we were going to get to hear about Emily's fantasies tonight.
Yeah.
But,
please put your children away at this time.
I will tell you that everybody knows.
Oh shit!
This is late night. This is late night show.
It is late night. It's late.
And you're breaking up.
We're not rated, so
let me find. I know we've had thunderstorms through here, and it stopped raining, so my dog needs to be like, let me let my dog out. Let me find this video, and hopefully I can
find a video, send it, and if it skips, send it to me, and I'll play it. But yeah. Well, Nicole, welcome to wherever you came from. We always like new people coming to the United States. As long as they're coming in legal, we're happy to have new people. It's one thing about living here. We like to. Well, I'm from New Orleans. We always like new people. It's just part of the culture down here. Yeah, There's nobody in this city that's from the same place.
Can I tell you a story about my stepdaughter who's Filipino, and she come to this country legally. We went through all the paperwork. I mean, it's a lot of paperwork, a lot of legal stuff.
I know.
Yeah, and we brought her here. She's got an international marketing degree. When she got her work permit, she got a Social Security card. She got offers from 3 companies, and they offered her anywhere from $75,000 to $85,000 a year to start. She's very smart, and she's bringing something to this country. You know.
Well, see, that's a plus to me. I always like people who are bringing stuff to the country.
Right.
I think it's a good thing. What was that? Kareen? Oh no. Well, because we keep getting off track tonight. Usually we stay a little bit more focused on the news. Well, it is news on the flip side, so we can talk a lot of different topics.
My stepdaughter is named Sarah.
Oh well,
I just wanted to mention.
Almost every Sarah I know is high energy. I don't know what that is, but they are.
And she's a very pretty young lady, and she's smart, very smart.
Well, there's a lot of good soulmates in the United States. I'll tell you that. Good luck. It's there's a lot of people to choose from. I'll tell you that. I mean, well, yes, Denise. Of course, there's not as many as China. China got 1.4 billion, but you know what? It's a different kind of people. Well, so I talked to a friend of mine. He wants me to do a show on China. I got a lot of friends that are from China. And we do we have a lot of listeners in China. So we're going to do one. We're going to do one on, what we think they're doing, where we think they're going, what's the United States' opinion on it, how the United States is going to deal with it, stuff like that. We're going to be, that's all stuff coming up.
Yes, that's pretty political hot topic right now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's not with Joe Biden as president. It's not. Joe Biden just says, "Okay, we love you, China, and do whatever you want." But a new president's not going to do that. Trump didn't do it. Even Obama didn't do it. It's not. Because politically, it's not a good thing for us. We need to adjust. We just need to adjust it, and we'll see how it's going to go.
But when you do your show, though, you're going to be walking on eggshells on a lot of different issues. I mean, you got to be.
As long, our rule of thumb, because we do have servers over there, is Xi Jinping is off limits as long as we're broadcasting on their server, which I can actually turn those servers off. So I don't even have to let them hear if I don't want to. It's strictly up to me. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, China's, been very aggressive because we have an idiot president. They didn't act like this when Trump was president.
Oh, no.
They didn't even act like this when crazy madman Obama, who was shooting people every day with drones. They didn't even act like it with him. Yeah. Neither did Putin, for that matter. And you've seen what happened. It's so funny to me because Trump told, Kim Jong-un, I will just bury you in a mound or whatever. And he disappeared and his sister took over. Nobody even seen him until Biden was almost president for almost 4 or 5 months before he did anything publicly.
I remember Putin saying something about Obama when he met him and they talked for a while. And Putin said something about him.
Because he what he said, we can probably not say in polite company, but
right.
Well, it's funny because I heard him say a couple of things, and then I have Pravda on my computer. Pravda is one of the Russian state medias over there, and you can get it translated into English, and it's fun to watch because they're crazy politics. They're just they're kind of like the Brits in the way they do their politics, and this is their shows anyway. But they say stuff like he should nuke us. First target should be London. Do you realize what would happen if you're listening to this show, because I know we have a lot of listeners in Russia, if you're listening to this show, do you know what the United States would do if you nuke London? We would flatten Moscow in 2 seconds. It would just, y'all would be sitting there having dinner, and all of a sudden there would be nothing left.
Yeah. Well, that we are going back into the Philippines. I might have mentioned that. Since I know my wife is from Philippines, that's where she's at now. But she's working also in energy projects. But
and the U.S. has a big investment in
they got 4 bases they're going to build, U.S. Army bases in the Philippines, and 2 naval bases. That they already got 1 there now. It's small, but they're going to increase it. So we're collaborating with the Philippines to do this in order to stop China from moving across.
And we've always had bases in the Philippines. I know we're expanding one and adding another one, which is a good thing for them and a good thing for us because it's growth all the way across the board for everybody involved.
That's what I like seeing.
And Japan, we don't want China in the South China Sea too much. My problem here is, look, like I said, I have friends in China. I have friends in several places in China. I've met a lot of Chinese people over the years, both men and women, and most of them are honorable people. And, they're just like us. They have no control over what their ignorant governments are doing. So it's hard to hate on someone when they're not the cause. It's the government in charge as the cause.
Well, the Chinese were in this country for hundreds of years, and they worked on railroads and everything out west. They were hard workers.
That's an argument that comes up. We had done a show a while back on reparations for different people, and I was like, so a good friend of mine's black. He comes on, he's talking. He said, "We deserve reparations." I said, "Why do you deserve reparations?" I said, "Dude, I said, I know what you do for a living. I know how you live. I know where you live." I said, "There's nothing in your life you need reparations for. I should making more money than I am. Get the hell out of here with reparations." I said, "Now you want to give the Native American reparations or the Irish or the Chinese?" I said, "There's lots of people that deserve it." I said, and if you're black and you want reparations, that's fine. Go after the plantation owners, just like the Jews went after, Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen and Porsche. That's what they did. So, unfortunately, there's not going to be many plantation owners around anymore. But people forget the first person to ever own slaves in the United States, I think his name was Alex Jones, and he was black. Most people don't even know that.
I heard that. Yes,
and that's a fact.
That. Yeah.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, only 2% of Americans own slaves. That was it. Mm-hmm. So the other 98% didn't. So don't expect them to pay reparations because they didn't own any, and they're not going to.
Well, how about the Japanese during World War II? They put them in encampments. Yeah, and for about 3-4 years.
And then
why don't they go back and pay them 3 or 4 years of reparations?
And you know what else? Nobody ever wants to talk about white people were enslaved for 2,000 years between the Romans and the Greeks.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody ever wants to talk about that. No, we don't want to talk about that. No, because it's not it doesn't work for everybody. So some point or another on this planet, everybody's been a slave.
Yeah.
All we need to do is be grateful we got through it. We move forward, and we're changing our societies to benefit everybody. Right. And that's the best thing we can hope for. Anything else in that is just asking for trouble that we don't even need to go.
And I think every race has come here, every immigrant that's come here, like Italians, the Irish, the Jewish people, they've all had to go. They were all the apple in the barrel type of thing. You know, they were taking their turns of being mistreated, of being bullied, of being discriminated against. And that happened like 10, 20 years for each one of those, different nationalities. So everybody, like you said, Joe, everybody's been through this.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing. When you start trying to do a specific race, one, that makes you kind of racist, but two, this country's pretty big melting pot. I'm not sure if everybody would be what we would call purebloods. I don't know any. So I asked a friend of mine the other day, I said, do you think you're pure white? He's like, what do you mean? I said, go do on Ancestry.com and tell me what your lineage is. He comes back, he looks up at me. All he said was 2 words, F you. And I was like, really? I'm like, yeah. He said, I didn't need to know any of that, Joe. I said, well, it's nice to know where our blood actually is. I said, do you realize if you have more than 7 mixes, you're a mutt? Just like any dog, you're a mutt. You're an animal. More than 7 makes you a mutt.
I got 4 mixtures. So close, I guess.
So, yes, I got 5 myself. I don't make the rules, people. Look, I don't even care. You call me a mutt. I thought I was a mutt. I ain't going to lie. I thought I had like 26 in me or something. Actually, when they first did it, Ancestry, I only had 3. And it was really weird because they said I have an Italian heritage or part Italian heritage. And it only showed like 3%. It was really weird. Yeah. The whole Mediterranean thing. So then all of a sudden it was like a year and a half. I go on and all of a sudden it's 17 or 18%, which is what it should be. And,
I think they're off. I had one done about 4 years ago.
So what happens is more and more your family and DNA relations put it in there. It makes it easier for the thing to actually get a more accurate of what's going on.
Yeah, so, I got Crow Indian in me, Joe, about 12%. Yeah. And when I went through that DNA thing with hereditary.com, whatever, they told me that they don't sample the American Native Indians because they don't want to be sampled. So they don't have a base point to start from.
They really don't. They got a very small sample of people who are mixed that have given blood. And then, Emily's a Sioux Indian. So
yeah, is she?
Yes, you better watch. I hear she got a hatchet back there.
I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue everybody coming my
way. That's what I was going to say.
The Sioux Indians did.
A lawsuit Indian.
They scalped your ass is what they did.
But I have the video. That's what took me a little bit longer.
Go ahead and put it up. Barbara, we'll talk about it when we come back. We're going to let
I think I downloaded it, so if I'm going to share the video. No, hold on. How do I want to do this? Video file. It's going to come on. It's like super fast, everybody. This is not a long video. It's not long, but how it happens. I thought for the first time.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me preamble this. This is what Emily dreams out about night. So let's see this video.
I watched this over and over again. I had never, I feel bad for even saying this. Trump is the same as my father, so I've never thought of a man.
See,
I've always respected. No, I don't have daddy issues. My dad's a really fantastic father.
Not what kind of daddy issues I'm talking about.
I'm just going to say this. If you're a 76-year-old man out there and you're single and you act like this, I will date you.
Are you saying give it to me, Big Daddy?
I'm telling Big Daddy.
Well, older men have to. Right now. Older men have to get up and pee a lot, That'd be probably it.
Look at him.
That's good. What the hell?
I think I can go back. Look at this. Look at him. Sorry, it's this really short clip, so I paused it now. Can y'all see it now?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, he's just so hot, baby.
Yeah. Come to me, Trump. Come to me, baby. Now look at this. Look at that, man. He's the alpha freaking lion. He's like the alpha of all alpha lion. I don't know. I never saw Trump sexy before, ever. And I met him in 2001. Look at this. Oh,
He acted like he wanted his ball back when he went in to see Bragg.
Business. It keeps skipping some on my end, so I'm sorry, everybody, but I never in a million years ever thought a 70-some-year-old man was sexy until I saw that video. Wow. Ever. So,
and I was like, but that's a weird thing because until recent times, most women married men 15 to 20 years older than them. So it wasn't a big thing in a day. It's changed now.
I mean, I've always dated. I never dated a guy that was younger than me. All of the guys I've ever dated have been at least 10 years older than me. I'm 42, at least 10 years older. But this is my dad's age, so I don't know if I just categorize that as my dad's age. My dad looks good at his age too, but it was just like but he runs the ship. Like I think here's something I think we're missing masculinity. When I made a post. I made a post on my Facebook. I made a post on my Facebook a few weeks ago that says, "Can we bring masculinity back?" And that's off that Trump video.
Baby, it's never left here. That's all I can tell you. It's never left from here.
I should never.
Let me tell you. Look right here.
Well, I should never at my age should ever have to search for masculinity.
That unfortunately is a good point. But being an X-Gener, at least you're a little bit luckier because all X-Geners are assholes by nature. So at least you're a little bit more manly and a little bit more womanly. Now,
let me tell you this: I've cut more grasses for men that I've dated and stuff, and done more yard work than men that I've dated than they have done it for me. And I've dated older men.
Well, my wife is 14
years men ain't gonna get out there and do nothing. They're old. They're like, get the goddamn cut the grass, bitch. What the hell? That's what I'd be telling them. I'd be like, get your ass out there, cut the grass. Keep yourself in good shape. What's going on here?
You know the secret of that, Joe? Man. I used to cut grass, but I kind of did it a little sloppy sometimes. And my wife said, I'm going to cut the grass from now on. I said, go right ahead.
What is it, Janine?
I don't know. I love masculinity. I love it. I would love it for a man. And I'm a single mom. I have been single. I was married. I've been divorced for 13 years. I do everything on my own here. I cut my grass. I clean out my gutters. I power wash my house. I enjoy those things a lot. But there's many times in my life that I've sat and think, if a man came into my life and says, you know what, don't worry about this, I'll take care of it. Like, it would be amazing for me. I've always,
that's the way it should be.
It's not about money either. I've always been somebody that made more money than the people that I was with. It's not even about that. It's just about somebody that's coming in and saying, I will take care of this. You don't need to worry about it. I love you. We're a team.
No, Sally, I would need 2 sugar mamas. I'm expensive. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm not cheap date. I'm expensive, people.
I mean, he wears glasses and sunglasses at the same time.
That's so I can see you. That's like having, when they say you got 4 eyes. See, these up here like Geordie LaForge glasses. They're tied in back here so I can see and hear everything.
That's a right.
It's coming from that. You're coming from your third eye, right?
Oh man! Actually, I only get to wear them anymore when I'm reading. And
don't take your glasses off.
No, but they've been off. You haven't noticed. So you haven't noticed tonight. They've been off most of the night. It's weird for me. If I'm reading, I gotta have them if I'm reading. That's just. It's funny too.
I do. I have to have those too.
It's funny. I was supposed to be getting contacts this week. I ended up not having the time because I was screwing around doing other stuff. But so I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, "Oh man, you ought to see these really purple ones I got, or these little green ones." He said, "I got devil eyes." I'm like, he said, "Joe, you're on the radio. You ought to pop them devil eyes on going there." I was like, "Come on, man. She's just trying to cause trouble." I said, "Emily be thinking Satan doesn't come for her ass." And she'd be like, "Oh shit. Oh, they're taking you to the hell of the manly men." Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing about older men, though, too, Emily, is that I go to the gym. I had a good friend of mine say, "Do you look at the young women there?" I said, "No, I really don't. I just look at them, say hi, and that's it." And I'm kind of courteous in that way.
Well, you need to be, because I don't go to the gym because I'm not in the best at this moment, but back in the day, well, not even back in the day, 2 years ago, I've had 2 major surgeries in the last year and a half, and it wiped me out for recovery time. And I've gained weight due to depression and some other things happen, but I'm feeling better now. I'm starting to get back.
You just need to have more fantasies about Trump.
I'll just tell you this. The alpha dog, alpha lion, not dog, alpha lion.
I did notice though, Emily, these gals in the gym, they wear these skin tight.
Oh, they do.
Stretch, and I think
I'm one of those. I'm one of those people that did wear those because when I work out, I like tight clothing to hold me in, and it makes me sweat more in the areas that I want to lose inches. Yeah. Okay. But, you know, I got gym memberships over the years, many, many years. I would get hit on left and right with people. Now that I'm older and I'm not where I want to be, I don't want to get the gym membership.
I can't go to the gym. These little groupie girls are too much for me. I'm like, get out of here.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah. And then there's other places I go. It's, you know, so, you know, and it's really weird. So sometimes I'll do something that'll come on TV, right? And I'll be somewhere, and I'll be seeing people standing in the corner looking at me. I'm like, we're at the casino of all places.
Because you got your 2 glasses.
So we're sitting drinking. We're having drinks. We're not even drinking. We're actually eating at the casino at the buffet. And this bartender came over, and then these 2 waitresses kept walking by. I'm like, what's wrong with these people? So finally, I just asked them. I said, "What is it? What are y'all looking at?" She said, "You're on TV, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I've been on once or twice." And she goes, "Oh, no, I've heard you speak. You're really interesting. And can I have your autograph?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" It always weirds me out when somebody asks me for an autograph. It still to this day weirds me out. It's just one of them things that just weirds me out. And then wait, I got to tell you this. So we're at another casino, and these 2 girls doing the same thing. So I asked them, and she said, "You're that singer." I'm like, I'm thinking singer. I can't sing. What the hell, singer? I was like, so come to find out, there's a guy who plays a regular casino. Right? He looks, Meatloaf is way too skinny, baby. It's there's a guy who plays there regular, who looks just like me for some reason. And you know, people don't get to see me when I'm out and about. They only ever see me when I'm on air, so nobody knows what I actually dress like when I'm outside of here.
Well, if Emily keeps calling you CIA, they're going to be afraid of you before long.
They're going to come take Emily away is what's going to happen. One day she's just going to go disappear.
If I disappear, it's Joe. Everybody just know that it's Joe.
You know that's right. You know what, Sandy? That's right. So, you know, they bring all these trafficking into the United States. Did y'all know that they traffic white women out of the United States to the Middle East?
Ask Hunter.
Yes.
All the time.
Biden.
Oh yes.
Look.
Oh yeah.
Into Ukraine and stuff.
Yeah.
The Ukrainian women all want to come to the United States. I am literally seeing like 50 ads a day. Would you like a Ukrainian wife? I'm like, really? No. Would you
I'd like to have a Russian husband.
No, Ukrainian wife.
I'm about ready to do 90.
No, because most of their IQs like 50 though.
Yeah, but they drink a lot of vodka too. They're drunks. And the women do all the work.
I want some vodka. No, we are politically incorrect. If whoever said that, I see it went by too fast. We are completely politically incorrect. Just know that ahead of time.
Oh, yeah.
If you're coming here for wokeness, you come to the wrong place. I'm just telling you ahead of time. Yeah. You might as well close your little thing and go on. Well, yeah, I know we haven't got to the news tonight, but we'll get around.
And I'm out of something to drink, so I'm going to be right back again. I'm sorry.
Go get some drink. So
okay, vodka. Since I'm talking about Russia,
some vodka.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm going to just get something to drink. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Wait, but one of my friends comes on here and harasses me all the time, and he's like, "Oh, you know this and this and this and this." So he thinks, this is his opinion, not mine. He thinks that. If we don't get a strong president, that there will be a war between Russia and China and the United States and probably the Middle East. Now, you know, I'm all fine. We'll just nuke the Middle East, but, you know, that's the part of the Bible, blood to a horse's bridle. That's part of the Revelation, prophecy, whatever the hell it is.
Mutual destruction.
So the problem is it isn't mutual destruction anymore. And this is what scares China and Russia. This is why China is pushing so hard, because they need to do it now. Why they have a chance, because pretty soon they're not going to have any chance. So in case y'all don't know, people, Elon Musk is dropping satellites in space. I mean, freaking 500 at a time and shit. I mean, he's just, I forgot how many he's got up there. Over 11,000. Somebody told me just recently.
That's true. He's a lot, yes.
So these are not really like everybody thinks they're like this big. They're actually pretty big. They're big enough to knock intercontinental ballistic missiles head the other way. So Elon told this to Putin. Putin was talking smack about launching nukes. He said, I'll tell you now, I will use my satellites to knock your nukes out into space. And he said, I guarantee you I can build satellites faster than you can build nukes. Well, even their submarines are intercontinental ballistic. They have to go in the air into space before they come down. So now, thanks to Elon Musk, not only we have great satellite around the world in 50 other countries, we have a missile defense shield.
Well, he actually did Starlink for Ukraine, and he's been helping them.
Yeah, he let him use it. Yeah, Starlink's been around for a little while now. It's a friend of mine's got it in Texas. He's in the middle of nowhere, Palestine, Texas. I mean, it's like there's nothing around there for hours. And he's like, oh man, but he loves it. He puts it in his car and takes it out into they got a ranch farther out in the woods, farther than he already is. And they take it out there and use it out of the car and stuff, use it out of the ranch. It's a great thing. I got some friends up north of Mississippi that use it. They love it. It's got a little lag time because it's satellite, but other than that, it's great. I mean, if you're watching TV or only thing that's going to hurt you on there, if you're gaming with someone else, they might have an advantage on you, or sometime like if you're doing what we're doing right now, there might be a little bit of a lag between you and everybody else because they're going to go up into space and back down.
I have a problem with 5G and Starlink because I don't know everything about it, and it's kind of a mystery to me.
Yeah, well, Starlink is just basically internet. It's just basically bandwidth internet, like everything else.
But they can guide artillery on the ground, though. GPS.
Yeah, it has GPS built into it. Yeah, well, not necessarily what we call GPS, but yeah, it has. Let's just say it has scanning abilities. Starlink is something that scared all the rest of the countries on the planet, because once he told Russia that he could knock down their missiles with it, that means China's missiles are useless too.
Yes.
They've only got 500 of them anyway, but they're useless too now. Matter of fact, anybody who wants to shoot a nuke at us is basically useless now. As long as they got to go in space. Now, if they don't have to go in space, it's a whole different thing. But we do have, most people don't realize, but around the United States, not in just Washington, D.C., there are missile batteries placed around the United States for these things. I've seen several of them myself. Matter of fact, a friend of mine a while back, this is like 15 years ago, sends me a map of these different places that he was tracking around the country. In DC, there's like 7 of them.
I would think there'd be more by now.
There probably is more by now. There's probably more like 14 now, but these places were in strategic places. Very weird to be driving down the road and look over, and there's a missile battery out in the open, no less. You're kind of
people don't know what they're, but people don't know what.
Well, one guy told me, you know what the guy told me? He said, "Oh no, that's just a statue." I said, "No, that is not. I was on a Navy ship. That's not a statue, dude. It's fully operational." I said, "I don't even know what the hell you're talking about."
Well, Joe, you brought up a story here about Trump, Emily's hot older man.
Oh my gosh, he was so no. Time out, people. He was just hot in that video.
Okay, but he was setting with Chi, and Joe was telling the story. But he was sending missiles into Syria at the same time they was having cake. And then also, Joe, you said there's 3 modern technological nuclear submarines right outside of their borders in China.
So this all actually, to make the story complete for everybody. So Ronald Reagan, during the Cold War, before the Cold War ended, he popped 4 nuclear submarines of both around Russia and China and said, okay, boom, you're dead. Because they didn't even know they were there. It took them 4 days to find out they were there. That's how long they were there sitting there. It was to prove a point. So then Daddy Bush did it. Baby Bush was going to do it, but Baby Bush was so lobbing missiles just like
if we're going to talk missiles, let's just talk Obama. Obama hit Syria, and in Bible prophecy too. There's going to be a time where you can't even step 1 foot in the land of Syria because it's going to be so detonated.
Syria is signing a peace treaty thanks to China.
Yeah,
get ready.
So China is actually making peace across the Middle East.
This is setting up for Gog and Magog.
What about Obama's line? Don't cross the line, and they did. And
Obama's fleeing back to Kenya in June. Did you all see that?
I heard that.
No. Because Leonardo DiCaprio took him down in court. It was Leonardo DiCaprio that took down the line. And then, do you all follow Malik Obama, his brother, on Twitter? He has been dropping bombshell after bombshell with actual pictures of the documents that Obama was born in Kenya, all of it on Twitter.
It doesn't matter that he was born in Kenya as long as one of his parents were born in America. It doesn't matter.
No, then we should have Ted Cruz. We should have Ted Cruz as president then.
No, see, I thought you had to be native born off the soil, but we went on one of the shows. We pulled it out. You don't have to be. All you have to parents have to be is one of your parents have to be an American.
Ted Cruz, mom was American, his dad was Canadian, and they said that he can't run for presidency.
Ted Cruz didn't actually want to run. That's what the problem was.
What about
you ain't assassinating my ass? I know what happened on there.
What about army brats that are born overseas?
That's what I'm saying. They can run for president. Yeah, they can run. You can't take it away from.
We all know who wears the pants.
So the real argument was that his mom was not actually a native, was not actually from America.
No, the mom was from America.
But that's what they were saying. That's what the argument was supposed to be, you know. Yeah, but they said she was actually from outside her. She wasn't born as a Native American. She came from another country.
She's from Hawaii. Mm-hmm. She went to Kenya. His dad was Kenya. He was born in Kenya. You know.
So why they spend so much time in Boston? That's where they spend a good chunk of their life.
No, but people don't understand that before Obama ran for public office in Chicago, which is Hillary Clinton land, and Hugh Rodham, her dad, that took over the mafia after Al Capone died.
Here we go back.
It was the mafia. That's where Obama was in Chicago.
But you see, that's some real men right there.
Who funded Obama? And his name was Barry Soetoro before he ran for any. They changed his name.
His
grandfather, his maternal grandfather, was Stanley Armour Bush, which was related to George Bush, the maternal grandfather that raised him in Hawaii. So here's something in Chicago, though. People don't understand. Follow the money. Who funded Obama before he ever became a public office person? It was Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm. Emily, you had that mafia guy on your show tonight.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask him those questions.
He's an alpha male. Do you think he's hot?
That was good.
That's alpha male. I'm talking about alpha lion.
Oh, alpha lion.
I think Trump.
We get comments on that one.
So next time we do one of these shows, we're putting a $9.99 a minute thing up.
Can we have Larry on here? Should I ask Larry to come on this? Should we do?
We can do one thing that's nice about news on the flip side. Yeah, we do. Well, we just did 4 guest people. No, we can do any guest we want here because it's news on the flip side. We talk about everything. We talk about regular news. We talk about crazy news. We talk about insane, stupid people. We talk about nutty people on the left and nutty people on the right. Mm-hmm. And thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, I really do.
FYI, the reason why the Epstein list won't be dropped right now because Obama's name is on it.
Sure it is.
We love some Obama. Obama was my favorite president.
Barry Soetoro. If you watch Netflix, look up Barry Soetoro with Netflix.
But
find out who the ownership of it.
Obama's never denied his name. His real name was Barry Soetoro. He's never argued because of his dad's name.
And let me tell you, his middle name's Hussein. Saddam Hussein.
Right.
And let me tell you this: Saddam Hussein is not what the media made him out to be.
Yeah. Well, no, he was a CIA guy. We already know all of that. That's nothing. We put him there.
Osama bin Laden was CIA.
Yes, he was. He not just that. He went to college in the United States.
If we want to talk about 9/11, nobody talks about the Bush brother that was over security for the Twin Towers.
Because
Marvin,
for some
whatever
reason,
his name is.
When you poll America about Bush, they consider him harmless.
Oh, I did too. My dog's name's Jeb. My other dog was GW.
Hey, I love me some Jeb. Whoa, now let's start going Jeb. Now I love me some Jeb.
You guys haven't mentioned Michelle.
I had a great awakening in 2020.
Emily, you haven't mentioned Michelle Obama. I've been seeing it all over the place. Michael, is she a she or he? What is she?
Joan Rivers told us. I believe Joan Rivers. She never bullshit about anything on any of the shows she ever did.
No, she
did. They listen. She didn't have to say this. They filmed her going into a building a week before she had this plastic surgery stuffed up, and they asked her, and we all know. We already have it, Michael, and then I already found out who the surrogates were for the children, and that's a whole other topic. But and I have pictures and everything to prove it. But she doesn't lie, and they said that. And she's like, we already know, Michael. Michelle, she's a transgender.
Didn't Joan Rivers die mysterious reasons on the operating table?
After that, when she came out and said that, she had a plastic surgery,
and she died.
And then she died.
Well,
it's a basic surgery.
I got to tell y'all, I've seen Michelle's coochie, so I don't know what to tell y'all.
What?
I haven't. So actually, it's a girl.
Really?
Well, we don't know that.
She was wearing tights.
We don't know that. She could have surgery.
Well, that's true. You can't rule that out. Mm-hmm. You can never rule out, especially in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? If I told you that, I'd have to have you killed too, man. Come on, I get a lot of secrets.
How do you? Hold on, a lot of secrets. So you saw Michelle's coochie?
Yeah. Does she wear tights? Mm-hmm. You see the crease or something?
First off,
is this on OnlyFans? Is this on OnlyFans?
She likes to go commando to start off with.
Well, if you're a woman, you do like to do that. But
no, a lot of women don't, but she does.
Hold on, time out here. Hold on a second.
You can wear tight undies and get that crease down the
center. She likes that flow.
Yeah.
I saw her aerobics and I saw something hitting the tent.
like to get them hormones out there for them men to smell.
Joe, this is UPRN After Dark.
This is serious after dark. we're putting a triple R rated on this tonight, people. Yeah. We might have to put an X somewhere along the line.
How do you know? How do you know, Joe?
I can't give up my secret. I know a lot of things. I can't give up my secrets.
Can we say the words?
I will tell you this. I found out because I was doing UFO research at the time.
It's UFO. It's out of this world.
No, I found out I was working with a gentleman who's I can't mention his name, but he's way the hell up in the.
But I want to. Now I don't care who you're working with. I want to know. You had your eyes on Michelle Michael Obama's pussy.
Did you see the camel toe?
I've seen everything.
No way! I don't. He's CIA. Everybody, this is
he did along with the CIA shit. Yeah. It was anyway. I can't tell you how, but
Joe,
there was physical contact.
You realize what you're claiming? Have you had alcohol tonight?
Coffee and Coke. Lots of caffeine, apparently.
What kind of Coke?
Not that kind of Coke. This kind of Coke. Look, people, this kind of Coke.
You saw Michelle Obama's pussy.
Such bad language.
I'm glad you're saying that word.
I know I can't say that.
I don't care. I like it. When
she's all I can say is at that point, she was a girl. There was no extracurricular parts there.
Really? Okay.
That's all I can say. In all fairness, look.
Ron says Photoshop taco.
No. Well, so in all fairness, I had seen photos from 2 or 3 years earlier that really suggested that there might be something there.
Yeah.
How did you get in the spot to see?
So Dean tells me, I'm not going to use his real name. Dean tells me that she carries.
What do you mean she carries?
She carries a pistol.
I could be carrying a pistol too. I carry a pistol.
She carries it right there in the front.
Oh, really?
And, yes. So all she's got to do is as she lifts her skirt and pulls, she can pull a gun. So training, you have to be trained to do this.
I can carry it there too, but it doesn't look like I have a dick.
Well, when you're carrying a 911, it does. That's what she carries, a 911.
Wow.
911
is interesting how she carries a 911.
She carries a 911. Colt 45 is what she carries. That's her preferred weapon.
Yeah, the 45 911.
I found that out from a news lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No. She showed it to you. You want to see my 911? That's my pickup line from now on.
Oh, Jesus!
I got your 911 right here.
It's 1911 45 is what
it is. 1911 is what it is. Yeah. It's
I'm gonna make a T-shirt. Everybody on What the Freak Live, go to my link tree.
Get my 1911. Yes.
I got your 911. I'll show
you. It's 19. Dave's right. It's 1911. But
they do stick out quite a bit. You wear them down there.
Really?
Yes. And they're about this long.
Yeah.
They're I don't have. I'd show you. I got my 9-cent in here with me.
It's a wonder she doesn't walk around.
I gotta update my Tinder.
Okay.
I gotta update he's got his 911. I gotta update my Tinder account, everybody.
That 1911, you wear it in the right place, you're gonna have a smile on your face all day long.
I have a smile right now. I don't even know what this is. Jim is laughing. Joe went and got his 9/11. We should just call it the MO, the MO, Michelle Obama. I got your MO right here.
When you're carrying it like this, kind of, when you see this, the shaft,
it's too stiff for me. I can't do
that. That though is a 9mm cannon.
Is that why you like older men?
Time out. Is that what she packs? Is that's what she's packed? Like I feel like WWE. Like suck it. Is that what she packs?
That's what it is. Very strange. Very weird. But you found it. You learned the damnedest things.
Can you shove that down your pants?
Yeah, I carry that thing's concealed all the time.
Let us see. Can you give us a visual right now?
No, we ain't going there.
Hey Joe, I got a belly holster that I wrap around my belly. I can put the 45 in there.
I'm glad you brought that up. I seen a cool holster the other day. So it's a holster you can shove down your side or your front, and you put your gun in, and it double flaps. So you just grab the flap and pull, and the gun comes out as you pull. It's a cool little for concealed carry. People, I don't carry my gun concealed. I carry my bitch where you can see it. Martha is a bitch, and she has no problem telling you she's one.
Washington.
She said, "I will shoot you as soon as look at your ass." That goes back to my liberal friends. I always try to tell you this: guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Kill people.
My gun doesn't get up. Look, see. You see, she's been laying here all day. She don't get up by herself. She's not shooting nobody by herself. She can't load herself on her own. Daddy got to do all the work. Right. She's just a lazy bitch that can kill you.
I've had guns all my life, and the only time I've ever pointed a gun at somebody was in combat. And that's when I had an assault rifle.
That's my dad.
Well, I got rid of most of my guns when I was younger.
This is my dad in Vietnam. He's had guns. He still has guns.
See, we had the M16. Now, that's an assault rifle because it's automatic, and it's made for fast burst. So that's an assault rifle. We don't have assault rifle. We have semi-auto rifles.
But we've had guns in my house all this time, and my dad carries and stuff. He's like, I'm thankful for the people that carry because you never know where you're going to be. And there's so many, and the mainstream media does not do a lot of stories on this stuff, but there's so many people that stop mass shootings and stuff.
It's
in
funny.
many aspects.
So when
that's why they go to schools. That's why they go to schools and stuff because there's nothing there. They go to
down here there is. They will shoot you at a school down here.
But. That's what I'm saying. They'll go there. But if you go to a public place like a mall or something, they don't know who's carrying or not.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to tell you how corrupt the world has become. When I was going to school, I used to go to private school. When we moved to the North Shore, we were way out in the country. So I was going to public country school. Everybody carried. I don't mean in the school. Every truck, every car had a gun in it. Some had racks, 3-4 guns in them. Okay. I mean, literally on the campus, there was 100 or more guns. Do you know there was not one shooting by guns? Not one. Not one any of the time I was growing up as a child. Not one. Nobody got any guns and went and shot up schools or shot up anything else for that matter. And literally, there was guns everywhere. You could walk and nobody stole them. That was the even better part. You could walk by these trucks and see all these beautiful high-dollar rifles and pistols and shotguns in those cars, and nobody bothered. And nobody took them out, and nobody shot up to school. So what's happened from then to now? I mean, really, people, what the hell's going on?
Mental aspect.
And let me ask you, we're gonna. I'll pull the stats up while we're in the show tonight. But so here's a question for everybody listening tonight: how come there are virtually no mass shootings under a red president versus a blue president? So Biden's already had 126 mass shootings.
ISIS disappeared until Biden came back in.
Yes. So 126. I think Trump had 4 or 8. I think it was 4, they said. Obama had 126 this whole thing. Clinton had like 26. All red presidents from Reagan up have not had any more than 4 to 8 shootings, and that's in 8 years of presidency. That's not in 4.
Because they're anti-America.
So blue presidents are. So people tell me, how can we get rid of gun violence? Stop electing blue presidents. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You don't want gun violence in your city. Stop electing blue mayors. It's a simple
district
thing.
District attorneys are the big
but
the
district attorneys we're talking about. When I hear district attorneys, especially New York, obviously, and then Pennsylvania, they're all George Soros funded.
Yes,
and George Soros peddles in Larry Krasner, which he has a court thing going on against him now. But Larry Krasner, like this is funded, and he also funds Antifa and all these Nazi.
Jay
regimes.
said he's dressing up like the lion and coming to see you, baby.
Who?
Jay. He just texted me. He's on his way into the show.
What's his last name? Jay's coming on. Jay's coming on. Jay, is he 76? He's not 76. He's got to be 76.
He's y'all probably close to age. He's a puppy.
No. Well, in Missouri, we have a Republican. I'm right across the river from Missouri, but we have a Republican governor in Missouri. We have a Republican. He's attorney general. He's going after the DA in St. Louis, and she's a Soros-backed and paid DA, and she's been releasing prisoners, and they've been killing people.
I got a question for both y'all.
Yeah.
How much longer can Soros do this? I mean, he's like 100 or something.
Yeah, he's 93, I think. Yeah.
They're going to keep him. Even if he dies, there's going to be somebody that fills his spot. Fill his spot, but we will never know if he's dead.
But that's the thing, though. We know where his money's going. He's one of these really filthy rich people that are giving it all to charities. It's already doled out and ready to go. So whatever he hits the ground, it's gone.
Have you ever looked at George Soros and then looked at Zelensky and how common, like they look alike, like they look like they're related?
The two that bother me the most is Castro and Trudeau. I mean,
yes. And there's actually documents and stuff saying that she had affairs.
She was hot after Castro.
Oh, well,
she was.
So what used to go on is they would go down there and have a trip, and she would stay. When the dad would come home, he'd come home and go back to work, and she'd stay 4 or 5 weeks and then come home. And this was a regular thing, ladies and gentlemen. This wasn't this. Nobody even argues this. She spent a lot of time with Fidel Castro. And if you go take a picture of her, there's lots of these photos of Castro. So you can go take a 30-year-old picture of Castro and a 30-year-old picture of Trudeau, and you're looking at the same person. I mean, unfortunately.
I studied Castro in college.
I would like you to get some DA. And look, and there's nothing wrong. What if she had an affair with Castro? That's her business.
Was she good looking, Joe? Was she good looking?
I never looked. Honestly, never looked.
Let me look her up. Let me look her up and see if I can find.
I have seen pictures of her. I just never paid image. Amelia used to send me some pretty good pictures of her.
Because Castro must have been turned on to her too.
Oh, I'm sure he was, both for her looks and probably for her connections.
That's when she did his mom. Oh, Lord have mercy! I don't know. What? He was drunk.
Oh, so she's ugly?
I don't know. No, maybe not back then. Hold on. Here, I'm going to share my screen. Jay's on.
Yeah, I seen him.
I just put him on. I'm sorry. I hit screen.
Jay.
What's up?
Whatever you do, don't get no orange hair going on, dude. You'll be in deep trouble, man. You will be in deep trouble. Somebody is in love with Trump. We're not going to say who it is.
Oh. Where's that picture, Emily, of Trudeau's wife, right?
No, just
there.
Just a video.
Okay.
That's what she looked like back in the day when she had Justin. She's not
bad. That's supposed to be his dad right there, right?
Yeah. That's old man Trudeau. He was president too. What's that hand doing? Oh, there she is.
Oh, she's dancing.
So, I don't have them on this computer, but another computer, I got quite a few pictures that people have sent me over the years. They just look so close together. It's just strange.
She's not that bad looking a woman.
No, and come on, how many women could Castro actually mess with in Cuba?
Yeah,
I imagine anybody he slept with there probably was assassinated later on.
And you know what Castro was? He was an alpha male, Emily.
Yes, he was an alpha. He's a big alpha, baby.
Yes.
Well, I will tell you this. Let me tell you, I'm not. Hold on, people don't judge me. Don't. that looks like.
Don't judge me.
But don't judge me. Don't judge me over. Don't judge me over this because this is college, and I was really young and immature. But I did a big study on Castro, and I remember my opening line in class. I said Castro is hot to get everybody's attention.
But yeah, when he was young, he's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, when he's younger, yeah. But back in the late 50s, when he was a general.
There you go.
That's him. There's no. I would debate.
I mean, these are the same guy, man. Come on.
It's the same.
Yes.
It's just the thing of it is
like
I don't think it's bigger.
Barbara Bush's
and you know what?
What's her face?
Most of my Canadian friends don't even have a problem with it. It's most of them don't even have a problem with it. They're like, yeah, okay, we think he is Castro. Amelia sent me a bunch of stuff on him. This is a while back, but he just looks like him. I'd like to say, it's just a conspiracy, but I think this is one of those conspiracies that's actually true.
I think so. I'll go with that.
Crystal, we're talking about Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada and the dictator Fidel Castro of Cuba. That's who we're talking about. We're talking about him being his kid. Yes. I would love to get some DNA. I mean, Raul's still alive, and then Castro's granddaughter's still alive. She's going to inherit the country whenever Raul dies, but Raul don't look like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
Emily, you would have won that case in court with those pictures and everything. Yeah. I really think so.
It's a good one.
Well, it's a good. How about Barbara Bush?
Oh my God.
Why are we hating on Barbara Bush for?
Yeah.
We love us some Barbara Bush. That's another one I used to like to show her. You know what?
Alistair Crowley.
Now, I never met Alistair personally because he was probably dead before I could, but I did meet his some family.
What's interesting where they do all of those summits and stuff is at his I spelled Alistair wrong at the place that he lived, and then Barbara Bush. Hold on, I'm gonna blow this.
Somebody's in love with
Barbara Bush. I honestly, I think it was a man. Anyway. Did you all hear about her miscarriage and how she put it in a jar? And actually, George W. Bush, her son, that was our president, talked about how the jar was put on the mantle. The baby. Did y'all? And he says it in interview. And
they were weird.
About it in one of
Maybe it was a baby cat or something.
So anyway, Barbara Bush's mom, it's on my website. I can pull that up and show the details. That Barbara Bush's mom had an affair, went over there. They had like a sex ring, whatever they go. We all know, eyes wide open, right? So they had all this stuff going on over there. And Barbara Bush's mom got pregnant. She never got pregnant by Barbara's real dad. Come back home, found out she's pregnant, and they claim that she's gonna look at them. They look alike.
Both ugly.
Yeah, noses are different. The noses are different.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the nose on the English guy is kind of rounded, and hers is sharp. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to be 100% of your parent. You're going to be half your parent. Really. I mean, it was weird. I mean, my son looks a lot like me, so it's kind of creepy sometimes. But you can tell he looks like his mother too. Mm-hmm. It's yes, Renee, I did meet her grandson. I met Alice's great grandson and her great grandson. Yes, actually, Alice's great grandson introduced me to her great grandson, Marie Laveaux. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people tell you that. There's no reason for me to talk about it on the air most of the time. Write a memoir. Hey, y'all write a memoir and put it out. They come kill me and all the rest of y'all. No, that's not going to work.
Sorry,
Yeah, Joe, you were talking about the mass shootings with the presidents. Was there a mass shooting in Minneapolis today at the mall?
I've heard something, but I'm kind of not even keeping track of what's been going on. Every time I turn around, there's another mass shooting. Yeah. I know there was one with 4 killed and 32 injured. And I was worried about Jay because they said Fetterman's losing his mind up there and acting insane. So I said, man, I hope you don't get Jay. It's strange,
Fetterman, man. That's a fake Fetterman, man. Did you see the picture?
Fetterman's a mess no matter what.
Soros.
I mean, he's a mess no matter what.
I don't know.
So Dianne Feinstein needs to just go. She just needs to retire.
Yeah.
Fetterman just needs to give up his seat and let have a new election for that seat. He should have never got the seat in the first place. And I hate to pick on you people in Pittsburgh. But I hate to pick on you people in Pittsburgh. Y'all should have known better than to vote for me. Come on. Who wants a senator that wears a hoodie? People? Yeah. Really? He reminded me of some thug in the corner I want a bitch slap or something. I mean, come on.
Oh, he looked like somebody walking out of the cuckoo's nest.
This is the Obama agenda. This is the Obama agenda.
Oh, was that the makeup for what's his name that got shot in? I mean, is that the makeup for the kid that got shot with his hoodie on in Florida?
No, Obama ran on Plumber John or Plumber. What was the plumber guy that
Joe.
Obama ran on?
Joe the plumber. You got it, Jay. You got it.
Joe the plumber, and then we got Joe Biden.
Well, that was the beer summit.
He's a plumber, but I want to. Right, but this is. I just want to say this real quick, and I'll clear this up with Barbara Bush. The story goes that Barbara Bush is biological daughter of Aleister Crowley. The story goes in the 1920s, Crowley was living in the poverty of France. In France, he had a friend named Frank Harris, which was a famous literary figure, ended up taking Crowley under his roof. Frank lived with a woman by the name of Lily O'Hara. Then Lily had a friend that lived in America, that was American, named Pauline Pierce. So this is where the Pierce comes in. If you all look up any of our presidency with the Pierce, and Barbara and them, Bush has used Pierce a lot. We got Pauline Pierce. It all stems from Pierce, who was married to Marvin Pierce. Marvin was ahead of the McCall Corporation, the publisher of the popular women magazine Red Book and McCall's. I did so much research on this, and Barbara Bush Pierce, before she was a Bush, she was a Pierce. Her mom had affairs with Aleister Crowley and came back to Texas, and Lily O'Hara. I did so much research, and there's Pierce that goes through generation after generation with our presidency, and they're all linked together. It's a bloodline.
Yeah.
And the Bushes, I'll just tell you this, it goes so back far with the Bushes. Like we got Prescott Bush, and then we got Samuel Bush before Prescott. They all come out of Columbus, Ohio, which is 2 hours from my home. So I've done a lot of research on this. I believe Barbara Bush was a woman, okay? I do believe she had a sit-in, a counterpart that was a man. I have this little interview, I don't know if you all can see this.
Hello. I'm Roberta Crisson. Politics.
This is before, but this is Barbara Bush.
Soon. Mrs. Bush will be speaking with us today on issues that are
on it. Said I must wear it until we get back our hostages. And I said to the lady, but there aren't 50 hostages. There are 53 hostages.
Do you think that's a man or a woman?
That looks like a man.
I don't see an Adam's apple.
I think
there's no Adam's apple there. I don't think it's a man.
Yeah, I think she was a little bit more shorter and stockier, wasn't she? She looks tall.
Nose looks like it's hers, though.
Asked what he should do about Afghanistan. He suggested that we blockade Cuba. Well, now Cubans did not invade Afghanistan.
Now, if you all remember, I don't know.
I was in Cuba.
This is 1980. Wow. I was born in 1981, so I don't know. I don't remember. It's always Cuba.
I don't remember her looking like that.
Me either.
I don't know. I was born in 1981. So I started researching this stuff and seeing where the Bushes come from, because that's my great awakening. My dogs were G.W. Bush and Jeb. Jeb's still alive. And I was a huge Bush fan. And 9/11 happened when I was 20 years old when that happened. I remember the day it happened. I had family in Manhattan. One of my cousins was working on a movie in Building 5. The explosions were so loud that it busted an eardrum. My other cousin up there was actually doing his residency at the hospital that they were just bringing in body parts. It was bad. So I thought George Bush was a hero and all of this stuff until 2020 when COVID happened. And I just started reading. I had nothing else to do. And I just started reading and I understand all the 9/11 conspiracy stuff. It makes a lot of sense now to me. Justification, how the buildings blew up. And there's a doctor and I'm hoping she'll come on my show talking about justification. And she's done a lot of research on how things fall under explosions or just accident.
Well,
nobody talked about the brother Melvin. I think it's Melvin or Marvin Bush. He's the Bush guy that nobody talks about, and he was over security at the towers for the last 2 years before this happened. I think that George W. Bush was a Manchurian candidate.
That's a lot of great research, Emily. That's a good job.
Okay. Yeah. All right, hold on. Where were we now? So hold on. I'll let y'all been ranting and raving over there. So
Jay's super quiet though. I wanted to hear about Jay. Makes me nervous when he's quiet.
I know, but anyway, here we go. So deadliest American mass shootings, most presidents. So Lyndon Johnson had 1. Reagan had 3. So Lyndon had 17 dead, more than 30 injured. Reagan had 40 dead, 54 injured. George W. Bush Sr., he had 4. 41 dead, 36 injured. Bill Clinton had 8. So you see, as soon as we got a blue president, it doubled. Let's see, 62 dead, 78 injured. George W. Bush had 6 with 75 dead, 62 injured.
Gun zones.
Yes. Right. Obama had 24, way more than anybody else, with 236 dead and 257 injured. Donald Trump had 4, 83 dead, 212 Trump. They're saying Biden has already had 36.
Of course, ISIS came back after freaking Biden got in office.
So in the end,
Taliban.
If you have a blue president, you have more people. Now this is even more interesting.
They have agenda they're pushing. They want to get rid of our. They want to make us Venezuela, and the U.S. dollar's dropping. We're getting rid of we're going to be Venezuela.
We're going to be socialists.
So we're going to start in 2000. Okay, Bush's wheel. What was it? Wakefield, Massachusetts, December 26, 7 killed. Okay, Melrose Park, Illinois, 5 killed. And that's 2021. 2023, Meridian, Mississippi, right above my head, 8 killed. And 8 wounded, 6 killed. Next is Columbus, Ohio. That's in 2004. Red Lake, Minnesota, and Brookfield, Wisconsin. You're going to see a theme here after a while. Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, by the way, is in this a lot. Seattle, Washington, Guadalupe, California, Salt Lake City, Utah, Blacksburg, Virginia, Omaha, Nebraska, Crandon, Wisconsin, Kirkwood, Missouri, Deadcade, Illinois, Henderson, Kentucky. Kentucky got in there.
We got Louisville just a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Yes, Birmingham, New York, Carthage, North Carolina, Fort Hood, Texas, and Parkland, Washington. Now we're in 2010, Massachusetts, Tucson, Arizona, and Seal Beach, California, Carson City, Nevada. That's all in 2011. Ooh, look at this. Here's 2012, Seattle, Washington, Oakland, California, Norcross, Georgia, Aurora, Colorado, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Oak Creek, Wisconsin, Newton, Connecticut. Now, we're at 2013. That's Washington, D.C., Florida, New York, Washington, California. So if you're paying attention, you'll notice that there are 4 more of these shootings in the north and in the west than there are in the heartland or the south. And I mean on a magnitude of like 10 to 1. Texas and Florida are probably the next 2 closest states in the south that have them. So here's Altus, California, Washington, Santa Barbara, California, Fort Hood, Texas. I remember that one. That was in the military shooting. South Carolina, Wisconsin, Tennessee.
Show up on that list.
Wait, how many times? What? Alaska? Is that what you said?
How many times does Alaska show up on that list?
So far,
Alaska.
none. So far, none. Colorado, by the way, shows up almost as much as Colorado. And then Kalamazoo, Michigan. Hawaii's on it twice. I remember Dallas, Texas, Washington, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I remember that 2016. That's the cop killers. San Francisco, California, Pennsylvania again, Florida, California, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Lord, look at this one. What's this? Las Vegas, Nevada. That's when the guy got up here and shot everybody up. Colorado, Maryland. Here's another Texas, California, Pennsylvania again, Parkland, Florida, Tennessee, California, Ohio, Maryland, Pennsylvania, California. The newer ones are a lot of these. Here's another Pennsylvania. A lot of these new ones are mainly California, Pennsylvania, and Texas.
That makes a lot of sense with California, Pennsylvania because of Soros, but Texas, I don't know. That's something else I need to look into. But here's something. Doesn't matter. I mean, it matters the state, I guess. But are they shooting in gun-free zones?
It doesn't tell you on this list.
I can answer to Jay. I lived in Alaska for 2 years. We all carried guns. We carried guns there, and that's why everybody has killings.
Yes, everybody has a gun. Kentucky. Like Kentucky is so badass that even the news media put some of our gun games together and said it was Syria, the war in Syria.
But think about that.
Kentucky.
In that 30-year list, Mississippi showed up once. Louisiana showed up once. Louisiana entertains the whole world and has less violence.
New Orleans or New Orleans.
We don't have mass shootings down here. We don't put up with that kind of shit. Somebody else will whip out a gun and start shooting somebody if they start shooting a bunch of people. I'm walking around. If I'm in a Vu Korea and I see somebody go to shoot a bunch of people, I'll pull up Martha and say, guess what, dude? That's the only person you're going to get to shoot. That's going to be the end of that.
That's me too.
It's just, we're not going to put up with that kind of crap. And that's what, was it Jim Jordan or was it Kennedy? One of them got up on stage and said that the other day. He said, the difference between living here and living up north is if you go to rob a store here and you pull out your gun, 20 other people are going to pull out a gun and point it at you. And he's got a point. I love these girls.
Here's something I want to say. I think we're being attacked from the inside too. And if I was playing war games, the number one location, if I was afraid of my own people, if I was president and I was afraid of my own people, I would wipe out Appalachia. And they are wiping us out by the water waves over here with East
Didn't
Palestine.
People in Appalachia take a bath?
No, we don't take baths, but we
Jay's like, what the hell conversation is this?
We rely on water. Ohio, listen, I live in Ashland, Kentucky. Kentucky. Our number one water source is the Ohio River. Anything on the Ohio River, that's the number one water source. And they're wiping us out left and right.
Yeah, that's right. So you got to drink clean water. We do. Okay,
so here's the thing. Appalachia, in my belief, I could be delusional in many ways because I live here, but I think that we're the number one patriotic army. If anything would rise up, it would come from Appalachia. We have our guns, we have our ammo, we got everything. We're not afraid of nothing.
That's why we don't give y'all no secrets.
Well, we live off the land, and if I was afraid of my own people as a president, the number one area I would wipe out the first would be Appalachia.
Well, Biden said he'd use jets. He would use jets against any rebellion. That's what
but the problem is how. So this is the real problem when you talk about stuff like that. Northern and southern states and most of the heartland states and even some of the west states are not going to fire on their own people. They're just not going to. Now you might talk in some California people. You maybe get some New York people, some Illinois people to do it, but the rest of the country is going to be like, "Excuse me, what do you want me to do?" No, we're not going there. Because the country doesn't want a revolution. We just want peace. We don't want to fight. We want to bring peace to our nation, and we don't care. None of us care what everybody else thinks. We just want to calm down. Well, okay, she's being probed again, y'all. That's
I know.
The lion has showed up.
Sitting on our asses.
No, Texas surprises me because Texas. Okay, I was just going to say Texas surprises me because there's supposed to be a bunch of rough cowboys there, but there's still some shootings going on there in Texas. I mean, there's been several, I guess, in the past several years.
Oh, there is.
I want to ask all three of you right now, just 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. How many of you all looked at the money that's funneled into Uvalde?
I look at everything.
Anybody
I have a whole
look at the
team
money?
that looks at everything. I look at everything. You know, like anytime we talk like conspiracies.
Joe, how much money do you know?
I don't do it. I don't even do it by
money,
myself.
this is not conspiracy.
I know.
How much money do you all know that is actually funneled into Uvalde, a city that has less population in my town that I live in? That's 26. How much money is being funneled into Uvalde and why?
I have no idea. You've done the research.
So,
right?
and then 2 weeks, two weeks before this happened at this elementary, they had training on this stuff in Uvalde with the not military. I'm sorry, with the police officers and stuff. And then they all sit outside for 2 hours, and then it was the border patrol that finally came in and helped these children in the school, which a lot of the border patrol people had the children in this school too themselves. How much money? Follow the money. Millions and millions of dollars go to Uvalde that is smaller than Ashland, Kentucky.
Well, you know,
why?
There might be some reason for it.
Yeah, why?
Maybe something they need that money for. Yeah. You know, you never know what they're spending money on. They spend a lot. I know where I live, they spend a lot of money. And
then if you sit and you take I'm not even talking about the transgender people because there's a transgender agenda going on right now. The last 5, I think, mass shootings, other than
because Jeffrey from Church of Mavis might
transgender. But I'm going to tell you this: that if you sit and you pick out all these mass shooters over the last, I'm confident in saying this last 10 years. Pull them out, put their pictures side by side. They all look the same.
No,
they all have same characteristics. This hair.
I've seen a lot of. I mean, they're all shape sizes, colors.
It's programmed. And this
some of them are short Mexicanos.
I think they're programmed too, Emily. Yeah.
It goes back to Project Artichoke. It goes back to MK Ultra. It goes back to Operation Mockingbird. It all goes together. And we got the CIA agent that exited out right now.
Well, Obama had a lot of shootings because he's a great divider. He didn't pull this country together. He divided it.
He did.
He did.
He definitely separated it. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. He brought race back into this picture. And he could have. He
definitely did. And I don't know if that was his intention or not. But the really funny thing about both of his administrations is that they asked really misleading questions on the exit polls to people who voted for Obama, but they were asking them about things that the other candidates did that were really good. And they're like, "How do you think Obama did, or how do you think about this that Obama did, which he hadn't done?" And almost every one of them had no idea, A, who Obama was, B, what he did, and C, where he even came from. They just voted. They couldn't care less. They had no education on. I mean, I don't really look them up that severely, but I at least listen to the news and I listen to things that I found out while he was doing the first administration, where he's running for his first presidency. I don't know when, but at some point right before, he and his wife had to turn in their licenses to practice law. And if they hadn't, the ethics board was going to take them up on charges. So there's something in there that they did ethically wrong, legally or lawyerly, that they could have gone to jail for. Both of them, not just Obama, not just President Obama, but his wife, Michelle.
Mm-hmm. They were both community
people. No one educated themselves on these two people.
No, they worked with the community a lot. They were community leaders or whatever. Yeah.
And he worked with.
You know who bailed him out? You know who bailed him out, Jay? You know who bailed him out?
NSA Epstein. Probably. I don't know. Who?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Really? Really?
That's why I'm telling you right now, everybody, mark my words on it. If I'm wrong, I will come out here and say I'm wrong. Mark my words on it. The reason that list is not being out there, and you might not see Barack Obama on it, you're going to see Barry Soetoro on it, is who he is. And Barack Obama is his show name. And he's a producer
his
for
professional
Netflix.
name.
What about Trump?
He's a producer for Netflix.
How about Trump? Was he on the plane? He knew Epstein.
Trump.
Yeah, Trump threw him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Knew Epstein. He did.
And Trump had been to the island, and when Trump found out what was going on, he threw him out.
No, he wasn't at the island. He took an airplane.
He said he was
twice with
Trump said he was at the island, and he said when he got back.
You're gonna have to
no, listen, I'm gonna tell you exactly. I'm gonna tell you what he said. He went to the island. He came back.
Okay,
the very next day, he threw Mar-a-Lago. He threw Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago. He wasn't allowed to come to Mar-a-Lago anymore.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's what happened, and that's the reason why.
Here's the story I know. Here's the story I know. Trump never
took his own plane, though, right, Joe?
Trump used Epstein's plane. Trump took his own. Trump rode the plane, and if you go to my website, I researched these air logs, flat logs. I pulled everything with Bill Clinton. I pulled everybody that was on there, and I couldn't obviously pull the Secret Service. See, there's like up to 8 people in the Secret Service on these things. But everybody else that was listed on this flats with Clinton, I have them on my website, even pictures and links to their pages. So go there to my website. But Trump was on there twice. Trump was on there twice, and he was from Mar-a-Lago, Key West or whatever, up to New York and back. It says Tiffany on there that was with him. That's his daughter. People keep saying that that was a young girl that he raped and all that stuff. That's bullshit, because that's his daughter. And then he had the nanny, that's the other name, of Tiffany at the same time that was on there. So it was Trump, the nanny, and Tiffany. He went from East Palm Beach, whatever, up to New York and New York and back. That's it. That's the only thing on these flight logs with Trump. Clinton's on there 50 million times, and that's on my website too. So here's the kicker out of this. Actually. Yeah, here's the kicker with this. Trump, from the research I've done, never went to the island. What happened is he tried to befriend Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein lives in West Palm Beach, which is the same town as Trump with Mar-a-Lago. He had the big, huge club there. Trump finds out that something's not right. Something's not adding up. Jeffrey Epstein ends up hitting on a 14-year-old girl that was the daughter of someone that worked at Mar-a-Lago. And he did not like it whatsoever. He addresses that to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein tries to just cover over it. Well, it happens again the second time. Jeffrey Epstein does it again the second time. And the dad of this daughter comes to Trump and says, listen, this happened the second time. I'm not comfortable with this. Something's going to happen. And then he ends up kicking Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, and he was never allowed to come back.
See, but that's not what his family says or he says. The family said on one of the flights, he was offered an underage girl. And that's why he got kicked out.
Offered that.
That's why they said that's why he kicked him out.
Up and back. So that was, but Mar-a-Lago.
That's like a 3-hour flight, 4-hour flight.
So you're saying that Epstein offered Trump a young underage girl?
That's what the family said. He offered him, I think it was like a 13-year-old girl. Yeah. And he said that's enough of that and kicked him out. Actually, I don't even think it was him. I think it was the woman. I don't even think it was Epstein herself. I think it was the woman that offered it to him.
I think all women that Trump's had have been over 18 or 21.
Trump likes women a little older, so
yeah.
He's got an image he's got to uphold. And even Stormy was in her 40s.
Yeah.
And
Alpha
I
male.
interviewed Stormy.
Stormy said she don't want Trump to go to jail. She's getting a little nervous about all this now.
I mean, this like, hold on, this is bullshit with her. I Stormy, she's done paranormal shit. I've known people that investigate with her. Like, I can't believe it.
She's a weirdie.
She is
listen,
Mar-a-Lago after.
You're breaking up bad, girl.
No, you're breaking up. Yeah. Let me ask you guys this: what's going to happen if DA Bragg actually arrests Trump? If he gets the job done, what's going to happen?
From peaceful,
No, what you saying?
No.
As far as the DA in New York goes, if I was him, I'd start praying. The House is opening an investigation into him. Yeah, she's locked.
Well, here we go. I'm talking about it because I used to work for Learner New York Company. I used to work for Learner New York and Company, and I talked to Learner on a daily basis. We done moved on to
a whole nother topic. Where you been?
Emily, you've been frozen.
We done moved on to a whole nother topic. Where you been?
They don't want me talking about Jeff.
No, we were actually talking about the New York DA.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And what's going on now with it?
So the House has opened an investigation into
it. That's George Soros.
And then I forgot who else. Somebody else has filed a lawsuit against him for the crime in there. And then someone in New York is going after him. So he may have overstepped himself here.
Yeah, Jim Jordan is filing charges, isn't he?
Yeah, he may have overstepped himself here.
Freaking Republicans are pussies. Like
you got it. You're right. You're right.
They don't fight like the left fights.
No, they don't. They don't.
I don't care if Jim Jordan files whatever he wants to file. I've heard it 50 million times. They got to grow some balls and fight.
That's what most of the news organizations are. They're all hot air. There's nothing. It's just words. Nothing happens.
It's not so much that they're hot air. They're just have an agenda of what they got to say. You know, you'll never hear NBC, ABC, CBS or say that blue cities are the most dangerous cities. Blue presidents have the most mass shootings. You're not going to even talk about that because it hurts the party. And if people heard this over and over and over all the time, they would realize that the party's garbage and it gets people killed. But they don't want to hear that. They don't even want it talked about. And yet, even though Fox is the largest media country by far, it's bigger than all four of the other majors put together. They have whatever agenda they're pushing. And they just paid off Dominion. I don't even know why they did that. I'm like, why don't you go to the fight? I mean, you weren't going to lose any more than $800 million anyway. So why don't you fight it out? So I'm a little disappointed by that. Or maybe they knew somebody had something that was just going to make things worse. Who knows for sure?
We never know the truth. That's for sure. And when the FBI, have you ever noticed this? When the FBI comes in on a case, like a mass shooting or whatever, they shut everything down. Yeah. They don't give you any information.
Joe would know about that.
What's that?
Well, it doesn't matter anyway because Joe, we got to go because Joe's got to go early because Joe got to finish packing to go to LA in the morning. So,
no, Jay just got here.
Oh,
well, y'all can hold it. Y'all know how to turn it off. Just turn it off at midnight.
I will turn it off.
Okay, well, y'all got it. Yeah, if y'all can
hang. Are you serious?
Yes, just turn it off at midnight. I might stop by and check on y'all after a while, but y'all gonna see me disappear for sure because I got some things I gotta get done.
Okay, get it done. If you want to pop in whenever you want to.
I wanted to talk to you about Hunter Biden and that case.
Get into the Hunter Biden stuff. I'll definitely be listening to y'all. So
okay.
All right, behave. Yeah. I'll see y'all.
Safe travels, Joe. Pop in if you can.
Yeah, safe travel.
Oh, y'all see me when I get to LA, I'll be online doing this, that, and the other thing. I'll be doing shows and stuff. We'll be doing a lot of live Roku stuff. But anyway, let me get out.
And be nice to your escort.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels.
Okay, what do y'all want to talk about? I feel like
Hunter Biden.
The captain has left. Yeah. What are we going to talk about?
Emily, I was wanting to talk about Hunter Biden. They're bringing up more charges, just like Jim Jordan bringing up charges on Bragg. It's not going anywhere. Nothing ever moves. Hunter Biden's been on this. They've been on this case since 2019, and nothing's moved on that Hunter Biden case. Do you have any research on that?
It's because he's under protection.
Yeah.
It's because they all collude. They're protecting him because they all are part of the corruption. Like we need to absolutely destroy I don't know how many people are aware or not aware of this. Is our government is a corporation. All right. It's a business.
It is.
It's not a republic.
We need to go back to being a republic, though.
But the only way I think that we could go back as a republic is that there's really truly a revolutionary war that takes place to overthrow these people. Honestly, in history, we've only had 19 presidents.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bloodless coup or a revolution, but I wouldn't want to see a lot of people die. You know, I've seen war before, and I don't.
It's in my blood. I will die for my country if it gives my son and grandchildren a better thing. I think when it comes to overthrowing stuff that's so corrupt, there's going to be bloodshed, and we got to have bodies that are willing to do that.
Well, I put my ass on the line once before in combat, and I'll do it again for my country. Yeah. And fighting in Vietnam, I don't think I was really fighting directly for my country, but this is fighting for our country. We're fighting.
Right. We're going to be within. We're not going to be on foreign land.
Right. This is for us.
Yes. Us. It'll be a different war if we fight on our own soil.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay? What do you think about it? Jay's in Pennsylvania, by the way. So
really? Oh,
yes.
He's got a nice senator there, doesn't he?
I don't know how I couldn't live there. I'll tell you that. With Fetterman.
I do think revolution is something that we do need to do because the government is that corrupt, but I don't think we need to do it with guns. There are articles in the Constitution to dismantle the government if it starts to become, corrupt. So I mean, I don't know if we can get the country behind all of that, but if we can get the country behind reassembling or dismantling and then our government the way the forefathers wrote it for us, we could make it more of a country for the people, by the people, and of the people. But right now
we got a problem. Yeah, we got a problem though.
It's all controlled by the corporations and the pharmacies.
Yeah, the left is pretty radical. Yeah. They use force. They use force to get their way. We got to stop doing that. Like in these college campuses, the left. You have a conservative speaker on the college campus. They just about go to war. They tear up things. They hurt people. We got to stop that. We got to have freedom of speech. And if we don't, then if we do go into a coup situation, it will be physical.
I mean, we are a coup situation. They couped Trump.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here because America's become lazy in many aspects. And I'll tell you this on my part, my dad's military and veteran. He's 76. I don't expect him to go to war. Okay. I am not military background, but I understand instruction. And I think the reason why COVID-19 happened was to keep us all isolated and to keep the churches closed and the taverns closed. Because if we go back and read the research or what happened during Revolutionary War, that's where everybody would meet. They would meet in the churches and they would meet in the taverns, and they made a game plan. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting on veterans.
Well, the government's afraid of veterans.
Well, I know. So I'm waiting on veterans to come up. I have guns. I have ammo. I know how to shoot, but I don't have military background, but I can listen to instructions. And I think that's a lot in Appalachia too. I'm not just the only one in Appalachia, but we have a lot of veterans in Appalachia too. So like, I'm waiting for someone to take the lead. I can't do that. I'm not experienced in that. Who's going to step up? Who's going to step up and be that general?
But General Flynn with Q.
No,
General Flynn's with Q.
I don't believe in Q. Q's a CIA mind control, and General Flynn also finally said he thinks it's a psyop. General Flynn's going to be on my show in June.
That's great. I want to watch that. Mm-hmm. But Emily, also with this country, we don't want to promote violence. I come from a combat.
I'm promoting violence. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done with it. I'm done. It's going to have to come to this. History repeats itself.
You said the truth a while ago. You said the Republicans were pussies, and they are.
They are. They're pussies, but we can't sit around and smoke weed and think peace, love, happiness, and something's going to change. It's going to take violence to overthrow this high organized crime that's happening in our country, and it's worldwide too. They are weaponizing the UN. They are absolutely funneling so much money to Ukraine, which is so corrupt in many aspects. It's a cesspool, and I've turned coat. I'll say it. I've turned coat. I'm cheering for Russia. I would trust Putin over anybody now.
I've heard other people say that.
Yeah. In China, let me tell you, China's just like us. And we hear all the bad stuff about China, but China has a bad part, just like we do. And then they got or the CCP or whatever you want to call it, but they have a good part of it. I hope China takes Taiwan, because when Taiwan, anybody's researched the biolabs out of Taiwan?
No, I've heard about it.
Wait till you see the biolabs out of Taiwan. China is going to reveal, and I think China is pissed because the United States is blaming COVID on Wuhan lab. I don't think it ever came out of Wuhan lab. I think it came out of China, Chyna, Ukraine. Because where did swine flu come from? Where did anthrax come from? It's all been a pregame, all the pregame, the coup and everything, 2014. And we have the same players right now under the Biden administration. That's Victoria Nuland, absolutely a major game player in 2012, 2014 in Ukraine. That's happening now. And they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, which is an act of war. And Nord Stream pipeline is the direct competitor of Burisma, which Burisma was freaking Hunter Biden sat on the board of Burisma. Which who owns Burisma? This is all on my website.
You said this earlier, that whoever blames the other country or the other party for their problems, they're doing the same thing.
Let me tell you, if they blame China, if they blame Russia, in 99, I'm not confident, 99%, if our government right now, and Hillary Clinton, all of them folks on the left, if they're blaming Russia and China on some things, you guarantee that's projection, that's narcissistic spirit.
No, that's projection.
It's projection. That's what we're doing ourselves.
What about political prisoners? We have political prisoners right now.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, and we're getting them more and more. And that's why we have this socialist trend in the other party, that's bringing this all about. What did Reagan say back in the early 80s, before you were born probably, Emily? He said, if the communists come into this country, they will be on the coattails of the Democratic Party. That's what he said.
Let's just go back to Washington. Let's just go back to Washington saying that we should never have a two-party system.
We should vote for the person, or the person that has.
And everybody's like, we need to do this three-party. We need to have Trump. We need to have the MAGA, or they use the lying and all this lion. And all this stuff. We should have this party. Well, the independent party tried for many, many years. If you're going to have a third party person, I'm just going to tell you this, and play war games with this, you're going to have to play just as bad as both sides to even try to make it. The best thing for America is to eliminate, in my opinion, and Jay, I want you to talk because you haven't talked that much, but in my opinion, is to eliminate the two-party system. Period. Because we still have these people that vote straight left and straight right, no matter what. They don't research anything,
and they don't change their minds.
And I honestly think if we do eliminate that, how many people are going to come out and vote? The people that truly care, that truly research, and we probably won't have that much of a turnout, but still would get the right people.
Do you know party affiliation is actually a mental thing?
I believe that.
It's actually a mental thing. It's inbred in us from our upbringing, whatever party we were used to. I was used to Democratic Party. When I was younger, all the unions were Democrat, and they told us
I'm still a union person. I'm still a union person, but I'm not Democrat.
Right. They told us, so I did. I voted okay. I even campaigned for some. Durbin was one of my campaign for way back when. But I thought to myself, I can't do this anymore because the Democrat Party has changed so much ever since Obama, really, and Clinton too. But Obama kind of changed things a little bit. He divided us, and he started all this crap.
So Jay, go ahead.
Yeah.
We
Well,
talked
I don't know that eliminating the two-party system is going to make people come out and vote. Like you said before,
no,
Emily,
I don't want. They're not coming out and voting anyway.
No, they're not. So, one thing I think that would at least help to get a fair elections is they got to separate the president and the vice president. I don't know if you remember, Emily, but years and years ago, Dave probably remembers, you could vote for a president and you could vote for a vice president, and you didn't have to vote for the Democratic and the Republican.
I don't. Party. Jay, I don't remember that.
That's why we need Trump and,
yeah, it was,
and
Robert
Robert
70.
Kennedy Jr.
But there's when we go to vote, we should be voting for one person. One guy is president, one guy is vice president, but we're voting for two people as one for both jobs, and it should be separate. Should be a vote for one guy as president and one guy as vice president. And in years past, like I said, it had been where they vote in a Republican president and a Democratic vice president. How more balanced can you be if you do that?
Hold on, time out, Jay. This makes me so excited because Robert Kennedy Jr. So he's not gonna get it. They're gonna put Biden in there. He's not gonna get the Democratic nomination or whatever.
And you wanted him, didn't you, Kennedy?
I would vote for him if Trump wasn't in the ballgame. So what if Trump gets it and then he selects, I don't know if they can select this or not, RFK Jr. to be his VP.
They can choose the opposite party if the people may not like it. But you know who's going to be Trump's vice president? You said a woman a while ago, Stefanik, the Congress lady, Stefanik. She's Trump.
She's up
Trump
in New York.
Mentioned her. Yeah, Trump mentioned her.
She's really good. She's on Burisma stuff.
Yeah, Trump mentioned her as the vice president.
I thought maybe Carrie Lake.
No, that's what I thought too. But Carrie Lake hasn't won. She's got to be a winner first.
Does she?
She's still battling.
I mean, she's a winner by the population.
Yes,
by the
people.
But can he pick whoever he wants?
Yes, he can. He can pick Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is smart.
You all gonna hate me, especially women. Women, stay out of this. We need men. All right. So I would I just want Trump and Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. That would be amazing.
That could happen. They can choose another party person, can't they, Jay? I mean,
I believe they can. Yeah. I don't think it makes much difference. Like I said in the past, there were two separate votes. You voted for one guy as president and one guy. It wasn't two guys on one ticket for vice president and president. It was two separate. You actually had to pick who you wanted. You didn't have to. You didn't like even if you do now. You don't have to vote across party lines. If you're a Republican, you don't have to vote all the way Republican. Especially if your candidates suck. I mean,
my first vote for president was George Bush in what's his face, Dick Cheney, and they're related. I don't know if anybody knows that they're cousins.
Well, Roosevelt during World War II, he had Truman as a vice president. They did not get along at all. So you're right; they were voted separately. But he didn't even go. He didn't even know about the atom bomb until 2 or 3 days before they dropped it. That's how much they kept away from Truman. So he was the last vice president that was kept out of the loop. And I remember the first vote I remember, 1960, John Kennedy and Nixon. That's where my memory goes back to.
Wow.
But, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean that in a bad way. But wow, though. I would love to have been there during that time.
Yeah. I saw him on TV and everything, and I saw Nixon fall apart. Sweating like, he was just dripping with sweat. He was nervous.
He was a mess in that debate. Yeah.
Yes, he was. And I saw it as a kid. I was only 10 years old at the time. And I thought, my goodness, he looks weak. And Kennedy was so suave and kind of like really calm. And I liked John Kennedy. I really did.
Yeah.
As a kid, I liked him.
He was a very popular president. He popular mostly among women and children, but
he exposed it.
But he was a good orator, even though he made some really bad pronunciations. I mean, with his Boston accent, he's like, Cuba was Cuba,
Yeah.
If you wanted to have a tuna sub, it was a tuner sub.
Yeah.
So it was hard to listen to.
Yeah, but he also messed up in Cuba, the Bay of Pigs. That was a big disgrace.
But that's Operation Northwoods. All that stuff comes in with Cuba.
Yeah, and Marilyn Monroe was one of his big mistakes too.
Yeah.
Well, Marilyn Monroe is a big, huge conspiracy in itself.
Well, not just her. I mean, back then in that time, especially through Hollywood, the big Hollywood actors, they were taking the young, fresh female actresses, and they passed them around like party favors. I mean,
they also kind of utilized them as spies too.
Well, yeah, they did. Elvis was a spy. Mm-hmm. He worked with the CIA.
Yeah.
So Joe might know that. But Elvis was a spy for Nixon. I mean, they kind of worked together because these other countries like these big stars. And so these big stars can get close to them. Like I know Uri Geller really well. He got close to all these big shots, and they used Uri. He worked with the CIA. And they used him to make contact with a lot of these foreign leaders. And so
what they know,
yeah, entertainers can do this. They can elbow up to anybody, really. So yeah, that's what happens. But I think this thing with Marilyn Monroe, she heard too much. Robert Kennedy also had an affair with her, and so
it was with both brothers and several men outside of that as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, her body disappeared for how many hours after she died too? So that was disgusting to me.
Her body disappeared. Also, the evidence in her room disappeared, like within hours of the body being taken away. And the same thing with Kennedy after his death. Almost all the relevant evidence was either locked up or thrown away.
Now. Isn't his brain missing? Didn't somebody?
His brain has been missing since day one. Yeah, just about.
Yeah, his brain.
Einstein's brain was missing too for a while, and then they found it. But
they found it. It's in Boston.
Yeah. But do you know that you're talking about
MIT?
You're talking about Bobby Jr. running. I am tantalized by the thought that him getting in office, because I think he's a Democrat with different spots. I really do. I think
he's the old school Democrat.
Right. Yeah. And that's what
that's what we need in many aspects. Right. And I don't know what's happened to the Democrat Party.
I don't know. Right, socialist.
I was raised Democrat, and when my parents decided to be Republican, we went to church. My parents got saved or rededicated, whatever happened. We switched to Republican at that time, and it was like a big deal in my family, actually, that we ended up being Republican. And so I see both sides though of the spectrum with this. And I was independent for a very long time until Obama got his second term, and the Democrats treated me so bad. They called me names. My friends even called me names because I didn't vote for Obama. Like, cussed me out. I said, forget you all. I got so mad. I said, I'm Republican, and got 2 American Bulldogs and named them after George Bush. and then...
So actually, it's correct. Then Obama did start the big divide, started trouble between people, dividing us. Yeah.
That's it. And then when Obama got a second term too, and he did all that propaganda bill or whatever that stuff was, I said, forget this. I took news. I have not had mainstream. I didn't know who Tucker Carlson was until 2021. Everybody.
What do you think about Tucker?
I love him. Now.
He's pretty direct. I mean, he tells it like it is.
But I just see clips off of, like, I follow him on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, so I only see those clips. But I got rid of and I think that's helped me in a lot of ways, being a younger generation. Like, that was when I was, that was how long ago? Was that 13 years ago?
What's that, Obama?
Obama got a second term. Was that 13 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2012.
Yeah. So I was, 29, 30.
Oh, you're a youngster.
Right? I got rid of news. I got rid of all that stuff back then. I have not watched a mainstream news. I have not now my dad will live. He's a baby boomer. And this is the mind controls stuff. Baby boomers were raised to trust the news. They were the first generation that had those TVs. They sat in front of. They had 3 channels.
That's me.
And they trusted.
Not just the TVs. My dad was born in 1936, so he was real young during the war. But they had every movie until at least probably the 1960s or 70s. Every movie started off with a newsreel,
dude.
especially if you're during the war. They would tell you about what just recently happened on the war, and then there was a cartoon, and then maybe there was an intermission, and then your show would start. So it started in the 50s when all the, you could go and pay, 50 cents to see a movie, but you could stay there all day. You didn't have to leave. When your movie ended, you didn't have to leave. You could sit there and watch. Because it would just repeat.
I did that.
Repeat and repeat and repeat.
Yeah, I did that as a kid. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I know this. My dad still has a heart problem. I love him very much, but he watches the news day in, day out, and I think that's part of his depression. But I got rid of the news. And when Obama got a second term, when he won that, and it was against what's his face, the climate control guy that has his own jet.
Romney.
He lost he won against Mitt Romney, and that was it. I got rid of cable.
Can I tell you the truth about Obama and myself? Back in 2008, I actually voted for Obama. I waited for the third debate with John McCain and Obama.
Okay.
The third debate, I was going to vote for John McCain because I was Republican, but John McCain come out and he cut the veterans down. He said he was going to defund the VA. Obama comes out and he looks at him. He says, "I don't believe you just said that, John. You're an ex-POW." And he said, "You're going to cut the VA?" He said, "I'm going to raise the VA." He said, "That's what I'm going to do." That's what Obama said. That sold me. So my friends asked me, why did I vote for Obama first term? That sold me. That was it.
Well, that just shows you how disconnected these people are. McCain has had so many privileges over the decades, even his children and all this privilege. They don't know what it's like to sit and wait for an appointment at a VA, or even go to the VA for your appointment, and then you don't even get to see the doctor that day, or even medications.
Well, John McCain forgot his veteran buddies, and that's what I didn't like. He actually,
I wouldn't like it either.
He pissed on us at that point. That third debate, that was it. I said, I'm done with McCain.
Well, I mean, and then that's kind of the problem with his first administration. Obama put out a lot of false flags. He said many times before he got elected about the war, he was going to stop it. But what did he do? He sent more troops to it and started another one. Did exactly the opposite. He also said he was going to reform, and these are his words, he was going to reform medical insurance, which to me sounded great because I think medical insurance has been corrupt since who knows when, back before I was born, maybe.
Big pharma,
but he didn't reform it. What did he do? He allowed those companies, those pharmaceutical companies and those medical insurance companies to bully him into doing what they wanted. He didn't make health insurance more affordable for anyone. He made it affordable for people who didn't have any, and he made it less affordable for those of us who already had it.
I have an Obamacare story.
Yeah.
So
well,
go ahead, Jay,
let me finish mine. So right after he got the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act through, one of my friends had a small company and they make they do movie props. They build props for the movies and they do like collectibles. So after the movie, they would also build collectibles to sell for the movie companies to their fans. The guy had 35 employees and they had a really good company insurance policy with good benefits. After the Affordable Care Act, he had to pretty much dump the company. He lost that company eventually, and he's changed it into other things. But the insurance that they had became less. They had less benefits, but they were now paying more. Mm-hmm. Whereas before they were paying a decent fee with great benefits. But it shifted after Obamacare because it went to you have less benefits and you're going to pay more. So it didn't help the country at all. That's part of the division right there. That really is what's destroying part of the country.
And what you're saying is it raised the rates for the average person.
The people that already had it, their rates went up and their benefits went down.
Right.
And for those people who didn't have it, didn't want it, and or couldn't afford it, they can now afford it, but at the penalty of everyone else who's paying more for their insurance.
And you ever notice that doctor appointments, you have to wait a long time? I think Emily pointed that out a while ago, that there's a longer waiting period.
My dad.
Appointments take longer. And even if the doctor's office isn't necessarily busy, you show up on time 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early, 5 minutes early. You're there for half an hour before they come and get you.
Right. And your time is just as important as theirs.
Exactly. Yeah. So whenever I do a doctor's appointment, I take the day off. Just in case he's going to either A, be late and I'm sitting there for an hour, and B, if he sends me for lab tests, you go get your blood test, go get an x-ray. So I have the afternoon to get all that done and not have to worry about scrambling around through the week to try to get it in between work schedules.
Well, I go to the VA, and I think, Emily, you said your dad goes to the VA.
My dad.
I think when Trump was in there, he made him walk lockstep. Really, yes, he told him, he said, if they mistreat our veterans, I want to know who they are. And he said, they're fired. So, they were really good during Trump years, but now we're back with Biden, and now they treat you like crap.
Well, I'll tell you this. My dad's heart doctor through the VA, when Trump was in office, that my dad, it was like within the month of getting in to see his heart doctor. Now, like, he made the appointment in March. He's not seeing his doctor until August.
You should see
last
the VA.
month. He's not seeing his doctor. But I real quick with the Obamacare, because I was a vice president of operations in a crude oil hauling company at the time. We hauled crude oil out west in Colorado, North Dakota, and stuff. And I'm telling you, everybody, Obama sold us out. There's a lot of land out west that China owns now that has a lot of crude oil on it. And that's a whole other topic to talk about. But during this time, I was in there. I was making a lot of money, bringing home a lot of money. I had benefits, health insurance, retirement, all this stuff. Well, then Obama gets in. We had the big, huge crude oil crisis in like 2015 or something like that. So I helped the company I was with. I helped get up to like 75 truck drivers, or 88 truck drivers, 75 trucks, and hauling crude oil. We were clearing 1.3 million after everything a month in crude oil. So I made a lot of money, and Obama comes in, crude oil falls. He does all this stuff with the crude oil, just like freaking Biden cut off the Keystone pipeline, all that kind of stuff. So my boss ended up deciding, instead of taking a loss, he sold out everything. He laid us all off. So when he laid us all off, I didn't have insurance anymore. And under Obamacare, you had to have insurance. You had to have it. So you had to apply for it.
You got to put it on your tax form.
Right.
My wife had it. Yeah, my wife had to put it on the tax form that she had insurance. Yeah.
So I had my son and myself, and I had to apply for it with no income coming in based on my salary. I ended up having to pay $485 a month basic payment. $500. So let's just say $500 a month. My deductible was $16,000. My out of pocket was $27,000 out of pocket. And then I couldn't afford it. I had no money coming in, and I lost my job at that. And I live in Appalachia, Kentucky. We don't have jobs like that here. So I ended up working at a job that was $15 an hour starting out, which was good back then, not now, but it was good back then. I mean, I was not bringing home $10,000 a month at all. So then I ended up not being able to pay that insurance. So then the next year that I filed, because I stopped paying, I couldn't afford it. The next year when I filed my taxes and I could not pay for that insurance, I was penalized, and they took $8,000 away from me in my income tax return, and I only got $300.
Wow, a lot of stories like yours, I think.
Obama. Fuck Obama. Fuck him. I got screwed. I'm sure there's a lot of other people with me too. Yes. But I'm a single. I don't know if they were married. They might be in a better situation. I'm a single mom. I was robbed. I was robbed.
Yeah, bringing it up to the modern time now, that unleashed big pharma. and they're on us now.
They did.
The big pharma, it unleashed them. Obama just took off the leash and just turned them loose. And now they're just charging out at the yin-yang. And doctors are controlled by big pharma because they have to give the medication.
They get paid and they get kickbacks for pushing certain drugs and chemicals. And if you listen to any of these commercials for any of these drugs, almost all of them, you know, they have these horrible side effects. But, you know, they say the reason why we put these drugs out is because those bad side effects are acceptable for whatever the drug does.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but half of these things, when they say death is involved, I'm not taking that drug. I don't care if it's going to save my life.
They say it all the time.
On the side effect, whatever's in me is going to kill me anyway.
Yeah, everything is death. But yeah, it's really crazy because you know what, doctors get kickbacks on chemotherapy. Every time they order chemotherapy, they get money.
They get mad money from the chemo. Times two. Here's a kind of a funny one, and I don't remember what the drug was, but you know, in those commercials they have that fast talker guy, and he says, "If you experience," blah, 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 and he starts rattling off all these. They start minor, and they get worse and worse and worse side effects. And the last one is, and death. If you experience death, stop using this drug and call your doctor. Well, excuse me, sir. How am I supposed to call my doctor if I've experienced death as the side effect?
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to be able to call them.
They call that a disclaimer.
Right, but they since pulled that commercial because of the fact it sounded so stupid. But how are you supposed to call your doctor if you experience death? Hey doc, guess what? Hey, yeah, that drug you gave me, I died. I'll stop taking it. Bye.
Yeah. I got family members who used to they took certain medications, and now they can't afford them because they upped the price 5 or 10 times higher. You know, for simple drugs. And my brother had to quit taking some kind of cholesterol medication because of that. Okay, the real Anthony Fauci. Okay, you do some research, Emily. Really, tell us about Anthony Fauci. Some other time. Not enough
Robert
time
F. Kennedy. Not enough time tonight. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Everybody has.
I didn't see the name.
It's Robert F. Kennedy.
Okay, now I see it. I got my glasses. Okay.
Bill Gates, Big Pharma, the global war. I worked in healthcare, so I understand a lot of the stuff he said in this, but there's a lot. It's super well written. I have highlights in this. I don't know if y'all can see this. This is just the first. Like I have highlights. See,
I can see the highlight, but I can't read. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can't read it either.
Well, but you see how I highlighted this book left and right. I'm telling you, everybody, and I understand how big pharma works with money and oh my gosh,
big pharma and certain corporations, they're controlling this country.
They are big money.
Absolutely are.
Yeah, like BlackRock also.
BlackRock owns Twitter and Tesla. That's why I don't like freaking what's his face?
Elon's just a puppet, right? He's just a puppet for these big rich people.
Yeah. He's a puppet.
Yeah. But
he never founded Tesla. He never founded Tesla. He wrote on content with that. He never founded PayPal. He not born into it. There was 2 guys that invented Tesla, and then he ended up just taking it over, bought them out, or gave them a deal or something.
Yeah, he bought into it. Yeah, he bought them out.
Oh, bought into it. I thought you said born into it.
No, bought into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then PayPal. He never formed PayPal. That happened way after he sold.
PayPal was formed by eBay for people to pay their auction stuff.
And
look up Elon Musk and PayPal.
Yeah, I think he bought it from them. I think.
I honestly
bought it from them. Yeah, it started off with eBay.
Him and another guy partnered.
I don't think he's that smart. Everybody, he just knows how to talk.
He's an ET, Emily.
He might be.
He might. He says he is. But
he might
if we bring all this to
I'm being dead serious when I say that. He might be.
Yeah. If we bring all this to the forefront with inflation and insurance and the good benefits are dinosaur, they're gone. I mean, I used to get good benefits at work. Now they're not out there.
Yeah.
You're lucky. You're lucky if you get a job that offers benefits nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
My job's got some good benefits and I'm enjoying it. But like you said about before, Oh God, where was I going? What did you just say just about 5 seconds ago, Dave?
It was about the benefits we were getting in the benefits.
Right before that.
Elon Musk being ET.
No, that wasn't it. Damn it! I lost my train of thought.
It'll come to you.
It'll come back to me.
We're talking too fast. That's what it is. I'm talking
too fast. That's the problem. My brain moves faster than my lips can get the words out.
Well, I thought you were going to say something else. I was going to go back to R-rated.
Yeah, we can try to keep it PG for now. We only got a few minutes left anyway.
Yeah.
But no, this inflation is hurting people.
That's what it was. Inflation.
Inflation, yes.
Okay.
So let me explain this to you. Okay, so my job is in home improvement, and I work at a home improvement store. I've only been there since October last year, but I worked at the one of the bigger ones for almost 9 years, and I was in the electrical department for 6 of those 9 years. Is this
like when you say home improvement? Is this like Lowe's or
Home Depot?
I work for Lowe's, and I used to work for Home Depot. So they're both the same. They both sell the same exact stuff. It's just different brand names and different colors. But Biden came in, and you mentioned him cutting off the Keystone Pipeline. Well, you have no idea what repercussions that had throughout everywhere.
I do.
Listen to this. Listen to this. This is disgusting. Is how disgusting this is. Oh. So we have this stuff called electrical conduit. It's a gray PVC pipe that you run wire through to like bury it underground or run it along the side of a building. And it was $1.58 for one 10-foot stick in a 1/2-inch diameter. $1.58. That's pre-tax. So you're at $2 or less after tax. That stuff is now $8.38 a stick, over $10 after tax is added in. It's disgusting that because he turned off that pipeline that we can't produce enough petroleum, because petroleum products make plastics.
Right.
That stuff has gone up. It's more than quadrupled in price over the last 10 months or closer to a year now. Nobody can afford it. And that price is never, ever, ever going to come down because they're making so much. It probably only costs them 50 cents to make one of those sticks.
Right.
And they're selling it for $1.50, now $8.50.
It's just we can't bring big pharma down. They're not going to come down. Neither are these oil and.
This is why Trump is badass, and this is why I think a 76-year-old man is freaking hot, because it reminds me of the car.
Yeah. Do you think he's taking care of Melania pretty well in bed?
Yes.
Well, probably more like she's taking care of him.
Yeah, maybe so.
Probably, but I don't know. After you're a certain age, you really don't. I don't know. I'm 42. I wouldn't really care about it. I would feel safe. When you get older, you want a man in your life as a female, single female. I want a man in my life that makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
The other stuff is a bonus. If it's good, but it's not gonna. If it's bad, that's not gonna kill. I just want to feel safe, and I want to be secure. And I think Melania gets that from him. So here's something with the car stuff that happened with him. I remember all the stuff that happened in Detroit, and this is what makes Trump badass. And no one in politics has ever said this to the car people up in Michigan. It says, if you take these factories and you take them to China, I'm going to put tariffs. I'll never forget him say this. I'm going to put tariffs on this up to 35%, and no one will have your cars here in America.
Yeah.
And this is what the person that we need to have. We don't need a politician in the White House. And I said this when Trump influenced me. I was in Bible college when I met him. He and accounting and math and stuff was always my main subject. I had made straight A's all my life. I was a high above my. They wanted to double promote me in school, and my parents were like, no, because they thought I was going to date an older guy. Okay, so I ended up dating an older guy anyway. But math and stuff was always. But I went to Bible college because I thought I was going to be in full-time ministry. I met Trump in 2001. I was big in math and business. I loved it. Met him, and after I met him. In New York, just out of the whim of things, he encouraged me so much during that meeting that after I finished Bible college, I went in and got my bachelor's degree in accounting and finance and a bachelor's degree in business. I was a double major. And and I always said that, and I didn't even know he'd ever run for presidency. From the day I met him physically, I always said that we need a businessman in the White House, not a politician. He had my vote in 2001.
Can I take you back on this car, selling the cars on this tariffs that he had? Did you mean that the manufacturers who sent their manufacturing into Mexico to make cars, he said he was going to, he was going to
China. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
I said China. Mexico.
Yeah, it's in Mexico what he's going to put tariffs on every car that's brought into the country. And he 35. Said they should be made here in the U.S.
Right.
And actually Ford and GM and all of them was making their parts down in Mexico and Canada. But we're not crying about Canada too much. A lot of parts come from Canada. But Mexico, they were sending their factories down there, and they were making cars cheaper but getting a big profit. And Trump, like you said, he stepped in and said, okay, enough of this shit. And that's good. Yeah, he did a good job.
He actually, the fact that he threatened them with that kind of
nobody else ever did.
No
one else has ever done it.
He done it with China.
America
too.
first. America first. We got administration that's America last.
Yeah, he done it with China too.
But we also ought to cut it out now because it is now 12 Central.
Yeah. It's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I have one question for both of you.
Okay.
What do you think's going to happen with Trump and all this stuff that's going on in New York? Do you think he's going to be able to officially run for presidency?
Yes.
Yeah. I do. This criminal stuff is going to blow over fast. Right. They have no real evidence. They're trying to force this through in order to make the case for Biden to win. What they're really going to wind up doing is they're going to give so much bad press, good press period to Trump. He's going to win again.
Yeah. Well,
they're going to give him the presidency with this.
I think Bragg is looking for an exit, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think so? If it goes through, I think he can be held criminally.
If Trump gets arrested, you're going to see what you were talking about earlier. You're going to see uprisings in the street. Mm-hmm. Yes. They will not arrest him. The Democrats are stupid, but not that stupid. I don't think
if they do, they might slap a house arrest on him, so he has to stay in a certain area. But
that's still going to hurt him.
That's going to cause ripples.
Yeah, he can't run for president, and a gag order would do the same thing. So they didn't do a gag order either because they're afraid. They're going to tip the scales if they do anything to Trump. To tell you the truth, they really will.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, all I can say is I think this is spiritual warfare when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it. Right. And you give a narcissist enough rope, they will hang themselves. So
it's good against evil right now, and I agree. Yes. So, I guess we're done. We're past time.
We're done.
Joe's going to
kick our ass. I haven't.
Joe's going to kick our ass.
We got to get off. Jay's tired. I don't know. Joe goes so long anyway. He don't care. Yeah. He don't care. Okay. But thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. We're news on the flip side this evening. You have Jay here with Church of Mavis. We got Dave with Strange Reality. And you got me, Emily, with What the Frick Live. We're all part of this network. We love the network. Thank you for tuning in. And I don't know if there'll be a show next week because
there should be a show on Friday. Yeah, Joe is packing out to go to LA for the Book Writers of America.
Right.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all tuning in this. Please share this out on social media if you see it. It helps the show. It helps our network and it helps all of us too here. That's part of UPRN 107.7 FM. So thank you all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Bye
bye.